Actually, it's green.
Just so all of you know, Seven's not going to lessen his height, so he's going to be 6'8" in a female form.
Holy shit, she's a tall woman.
That's really tall for a drow. Dang.
Really tall for anything.
For anything.
Not even if
How
Sam
was
asks you to make it a little bit shorter, that way she can actually get up to you.
Aw.
She can train her muscles and climb.
Oh, and Kabu was just probably whispering to, well, telling Ash, huh, she's probably has some orc blood in her.
That doesn't work.
There's no way an elf is gonna let an orc touch her.
I was gonna say, it doesn't work that way.
I think the only way they touch each other is with blades.
Yeah.
So for the druid, which came back in time with the group as the dog had to stay behind due to animal difficulties, and joined back up the party from being bird form, where you guys got to see that at one point. It's nice to know the individual met back up with you. And apparently is actually kind of a slutty dressed drow.
Hey.
Do you
I
actually
can't-
look like a drow or do you look like an elf?
A drow.
Drow, so dark skin and everything.
It has the same skin tone as the Vulcan picture.
So it's
Okay,
the albino
so you look
drow.
like an elf even though you have a little bit of the features of a drow, which honestly they're the same thing, just skin tone mostly. But yeah, so drow, but albino.
Yes.
All right, so very slutty elf who slips in some old style clothing and then sluts it up a little bit more. And with a little circlet of disguise on your head.
Hopefully, when I do guy voice, it's not gonna be Batman again.
Do you utilize the headband in any way?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm going to cover my ears.
So just have the headband basically appear at, or the circlet appear as almost like a headband, or otherwise make your ears look more rounded and less pointy.
Yes.
Okay. So a 7 pretending to be an elf who's a drow pretending to be an elf who's pretending to be a human thanks to illusion magic.
Yes.
Oh, God. That's a lot of transformations you got going right now, woman.
No, it's disguise, deception, and slutty deception.
It's a one transformation, then a disguise, then an illusion, with lots of sluttiness.
Do your
Which Sam will not approve.
They bounce to and fro.
Well endowed elf, nonetheless.
Yeah. Sam will not approve because she does not plan on sharing 7.
Which just looks like a well endowed, very slender, somewhat elven shaped human, but without pointy ears.
Ash is just basically trying to keep her distance away from her for the most part because he has no idea how to respond to a woman like her. Even though Kavus keeps telling, come on, say something to her. I'm not saying anything to her. Why not? Look at her! And
She helped you in that fight. Remember the bird?
I know, but I didn't know that he would look like this.
Apparently,
He
what you
just
do know is she's good friends with Sam.
Which, yes, she would be spending a lot of her time with him.
Yeah, he'll just be like, I think he's just. He'll just keep arguing with Kabu about her for the most part.
What on
Which,
earth are
remember,
you
you're under
going on
orders
about?
that Kabu doesn't exist. So verbal arguments don't happen.
He's trying to not do verbal arguments. He's just trying to. At least when they're alone, he does his verbal arguments.
The only time they're going to be alone is literally when they're in the house.
House.
Exactly.
Outside of that, you don't have the option.
So I imagine
Yeah.
you probably don't get too much sleep as the view makes it difficult. And thus spend a lot of time talking to yourself
Man,
and muttering during the
That's
night.
some valley, ain't it?
I was going to say, Sam was going to sleep with 7 in the other room.
Okay, that'll help him out.
Fortunately, there's not another room. That house has one room in like a corner with a little bit
Oh,
of a wall sticking out. So there's
Well, then that's
not
ours.
much to that house. The corner, if you stand at the front door and basically look in, would basically cut it off around the corner to where it's somewhat private, but otherwise, yeah, it's a big empty, rundown house. By empty and big, I mean it looks like crap and it's dusty and dirty on the inside. And as for big, 30 feet by 30 feet, so about 6 squares.
Yeah,
Oh
so we're
boy.
taking that spot around the corner for Sam and Seven.
he'll just sigh like, okay, they're good, they're gone. What is your
Because Sam's like,
problem, Ash?
this one's mine.
Good. You could. He's like, okay, I'm not gonna argue with you.
I ain't gonna touch her.
Ash is gonna sit down and with Estella slash Darian. Wait, is that his name? Darian? Darius? Crap, now I forgot
Damien.
what name. Damien. Okay, we need to pick out some proper backstory, Estella, since I know you like coming up with backstories for your forms, from what you've told.
Well, Stella has one true backstory, and this one simple. Merchant brothers. I have work in the capital, and then I go back to my more natural form.
Okay, then I'm more like your bodyguard, since you handle the more non-fighty things and I protect you. Does that work?
Sure, we'll go with that. It's not like we have a person who's pretending to be a merchant in the other wall.
Right about 10 feet away around the corner with Miss
It,
Big Chest.
Which are
I
being used
some
as pillows.
the best way to put it is I'm Merc, your bodyguard. I guess I don't.
Eh, since we're brothers, or we're supposed to be brothers, I guess I can work. Just I can't be a merc. I'll just be brotherly bodyguard or something.
In a circle we will go. In a circle we will go. Hi ho, the Dario.
So as
Yeah,
you discuss things overnight and iron out your details, morning will come around. Sam will go shopping with the druid, which hopefully you get the name at some point because that may be important. Introductions.
Oh, she would introduce.
Indira would actually introduce herself to Estella, but not Ash.
Ouch.
Because Ash seems like he's fucking crazy.
Ash
hello,
just
Sam.
Well, you are
and
avoiding
but
her. You are talking to yourself, and this is someone that you haven't had a chance to talk to. So, yeah, you look a little bizarre, man, to this
eh,
individual.
Ash, as soon as he thinks he's gonna talk to her, he just looks. When he ignores her, he just takes a sigh of relief, like, "Oh, good, she's not gonna pay any attention to me."
Oh no, she's probably gonna pay attention to you. You just don't want it.
Don't you agree with Kavu, please?
Who's Kabu?
Okay. Kavu, I know you like talking to me, but please, do not talk to me when we're outside.
Sweetheart, you might want to stop there. Put a pedal to that metal and stop.
I know,
Hold the brakes.
I'm trying to get it all out right now before we head out, okay? Bro,
Oh god.
This is gonna be a long 3 months.
you're telling me.
Oh my. So, you guys will come outside, do your shopping, go over to the station where there are three decent sized carriages waiting, doors on the side for you to get in and out of, seats for four. And there are also a set of guards. Looks like you're going to have four on patrol, in addition to a little supply mule that comes along with to basically carry basic necessities. And in addition to the wagon drivers, which are up front, which consist of one driver each, I don't have on the map, and an additional guard. And then you will head out as you guys pile into carriage number 2 in the middle. As you see other merchants, looks like a mercenary or two, and then some other individuals of probably self-importance basically pile into the first and third wagon. As a few of them seem to bicker as to who should get in first.
Michael, for this one, I'm keeping the fact that she's carrying a sword visible, and allowing the for the illusion the fact that the chainmail is under the shirt. So it's obvious the fact of she's playing it smart, and if they look closely, they'll notice. Otherwise, it's nothing overly obvious.
Just as a side note, Inksy, despite being a druid, would be very prissy, and she obviously should be a sorcerer because she acts like a fucking princess. And if a speck of dirt even gets on her heels as she's trying to get up into the carriage, she's actually going to ask Ash to get rid of the dirt on her foot.
Ash just has. Ash was about to respond, but Alcott was like, remember, you're in a different time. You have to act like a gentleman. Like, look at that gentleman over there.
Sticks out a hand, helps a lady well dressed into one of the carriages, and then goes in after her. Unfortunately, that lady's in a full dress, and this one's in a skirt. Oh, you're gonna have to get down there.
Just basically like gives up, like he just says yes, a lady, and just does what she says, trying not to make any actual contact with her.
Meanwhile, I'm just snickering off in the corner.
And that's a slightly shorter skirt, and oh, you better not look up.
And
Like,
Sam
don't say
is
that-
definitely watching you, making sure you don't look up.
He's not looking up, and Kabu's just giving him like, "Come on, Ash, you've seen these kinds of stuff." He's just not even saying anything. He just bits his tongue.
So, Sam, how much do you want to bet that before these months are over that he's going to lose his tongue?
The tongue's not the part I'm worried about him losing.
Oh.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you remember the execution, right?
Yeah,
Decapitation is a thing here.
yeah, no, I noticed. Trust me, I noticed.
So, yeah.
So at that time, a guy comes walking by, dressed in clerical outfits and with the town crier as they announce another witch has been found and will be burned this evening. And some of the people are starting to cheer and everything as they go on their daily activities.
At this point, Ash just helps it. 7 / crap, I was her else pseudonym Exera up into the carriage, and he just says, "There you go, my lady."
Thank you.
And then he sits next to Estella.
Which during that whole display, Ash feels like glaring eyes, like daggers in the back of his head, as other individuals seem to be staring at you while you're helping the very thinly beautiful, somewhat revealing lady into the carriage, and then you're down at a low point, dusting off her feet.
By the way, I will note for those of you, for the NPCs here at the area, Sam is watching with hand on sword.
So congratulations, you basically have possible 3 bodyguards for this well-dressed, very beautiful, thin lady, human-looking lady.
So either, yeah, Ash did not do anything to her. He just sits there
Well,
and
2
just thinks,
bodyguards and maybe a lady in waiting who can fight. Handmaiden with a weapon.
yes, he helps her
Think what you
in,
want
and
about
then
Sam.
he kept her. He kept being a gentleman and just sits himself down and just takes a deep sigh next to Estella.
Yeah, you guys get the feeling that you're drawing more attention than you probably wanted, and also people probably suspect that you may actually be nobles trying to masquerade as merchants not to draw attention, which only seems to draw more attention on you, as people are even more curious now as to who you are and where's that lady from. Is she a lady? Maybe she's a duchess from nearby lord. Maybe she's a daughter getting ready to go to the capital to be married off. I don't know. Maybe she's a
I got one
diplomat.
thing to say.
Why
I
don't
got
you
one
go
thing.
ask her? No,
I
you
got
go
one
ask
thing
her.
to say. Thanks, Nix.
You're welcome.
As Sam will settle down in the seat next to you, she will whisper to you, "Is like low profile. Remember,
She just, no,
not
if you
you."
want to
She's
see,
whispering that to
oh,
an extra.
And the next is just going to be whispering back, I can't. It just follows me wherever I go.
No, that would be me that follows you. Get it right.
Yes.
So, in this case, it's more of tone down the act a little bit, little less flirty,
But I don't see anything wrong with it. He might get killed, but who cares?
because it draws attention. And
And
if it causes problems, then I'm gonna have to kill somebody.
exactly.
And no, I don't want the trouble. Ouch. I'd rather get
Trouble's good
through this
though.
without having to cut somebody's head off.
Now that wouldn't be very like me, Sam, and you know that.
Yes, well, no, let's be honest. You're the one who would be rather enjoying ripping their head off and not me cutting it off. There is a difference.
Either way, it still gives me something in my belly.
Needless to say, with the four of you in a nice long wagon ride, it seems Sam is awfully close to this druid individual as they carry on quite a conversation, while the other two of you sit in there uncomfortable or comfortably, depending on how you consider the situation.
Ashley's just staring out the window, just trying to keep a good eye, getting a good eye at the scenery, the scenic route, the fields, the hills, whatever they're seeing.
Keeping an eye on the
Alrighty.
terrain and not on the woman.
Damien is just looking at his notes, making sure everything's in order. And when all that's done, he's going to take a nap.
Good enough.
Ash is just keeping just a good eye. He just glances back between Sam and the other and the elf and his brother, not brother.
Kabu will just remind you that the uh, well visible female human to your side isn't aware of him, but at the same time that you are technically alone and among friends, so there should be no problem with us talking, unless you just want to be rude.
Well, there's also the wagon driver.
Kabu, he just ignoring Kabu, just like
Shut the fuck up.
he wants to say that, but he can't.
He lives in your mind, right?
Exactly.
Which
Then
Kabu talks to him mentally, but apparently Ash can't or has never mastered the mental conversation back, so Ash talks aloud.
Pretty much.
Oh wow, I'm sorry.
You ever seen, like, if you know the blue beetle, he could hear his little device speak to him in his
Oh.
head, but the beetle can never, he can't read his thoughts. He just has to speak to him out loud, which he could hear the voice just fine, but everybody else sees him like, well, who is he talking to?
Get one half of a conversation.
Oh, I love those, especially with cell phone conversations. They're the best.
At least having a cell phone, you'll know, like, oh, he's talking on a cell phone. Like, you're like, who is he talking to?
Creepy guy down the road. So, at which point you guys will be traveling. You will make a nice 7-day trek with no difficulties.
Can I scribe some scrolls while doing that?
You can during the night, as they will set up 6 tents, enough to basically split you into groups of two, unless you guys just want to huddle all four of you in a single tent. They are
No.
larger tents, so they can actually hold up to four people,
No, we'll
or
do
two very
pairs.
comfortably.
All right.
Sam and Ixra will have their tent.
Poor Estella.
The brothers will have a tent.
Damien sets up the tent. It's just like, want to go.
Oh, the
back
guards
to
will,
Yeah.
guards and the wagon drivers and stuff will set up the tents. After
Oh,
all,
okay.
the nobles are paying for this. If you want to assist as your bodyguard or whatever, just to make it quicker, to help out your lady, by all means.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and actual help too.
And Sam does give the subtle hint to multiple individuals of no touch. Back the fuck off.
Which
That's
are
not.
we?
You have several individuals which are eyeballing you and her.
The ones focusing on her are getting the look of no.
You're just the help. That's great that you're protective of your mistress, but you're the help.
Out of character? Exactly. Security always does this to people with the hint of back off.
But remember, different time, so different help.
You say that, but who's the one who's the real help here?
They get close enough, they can tell that it has a weapon on side. All three of you have weapons, and also one of you is armored.
Although she also has no weapons, always free. So maybe she is a noble.
Or maybe she just beats people with her fists.
Oh
Not that
god.
train.
Blah, 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 blah.
Which, out of
Come
character,
on.
Squeaky, you do realize the fact that since you're in two-legged form, you can gear up.
I can, but
It ruins the
then
illusion.
it's so hard to fucking hide your daggers and your boobs at them.
No, I meant the magic items.
Oh, right, the magic item.
Jewelry bling bling.
Forgot the obvious.
Everyone forgets the obvious here and now.
Huh. I actually have leather armor in my backpack.
I was gonna say, you've
Hmm.
got magic
Chest.
items, and Sam's got a few as well that we can gear you with.
You'll be able to gear up and you. This may be the only opportunity you have to gear something up.
I only have 3 different hand slot items.
You have a bow.
Yes.
Wait, you have a mummified hand?
Not
That was weird.
currently. Why? Do you need one?
No, I just know that you can use that to like hold another like hand slot.
No, that's the mummified elf hand is gives you mage hand.
There's also another one that you can slide a ring onto.
Yeah, that's a lot more expensive.
That was what I was talking about.
Let's
I
see.
didn't set my character up. I didn't know I was gonna be doing this. I don't know what my character has proficiency in.
Oh my god. You're a rogue and a druid. You have proficiency in all simple weapons, last I
Okay.
checked, and light armor.
A short bow.
Which I have.
Which rogues are
Okay, we're
proficient
good.
with.
You want the short bow?
Yeah,
You want the arrows?
yeah.
All right, short bow and 15 arrows.
Thank you.
You don't squeak it away. Imagine
Welcome to the walking
armor.
armory that is Sam.
You don't squeak it away. Imagine Seven walking around now. It's like the new Morgana and
I
going
don't
all.
know.
She just goes la di da. I'm all fancy and you're beneath me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not incorrect.
Oh right, that's the new add-on they had for League, ain't it?
It was an update they had not too long ago.
To be fair, if I'm not playing Rogue Assassins, I like playing Spoiled Princesses.
And of course, during the seventh night, as you're getting ready to retire to your tent with your bodyguard, after your two other individuals of male nature put up the tent, you are approached by a blonde haired, well robed, caped individual nobleman, which says, "Excuse me, lady."
Which one does he approach?
I have a feeling I know who.
He approaches the busty lady.
I knew it.
Yes? How may I help you?
I was merely curious, and I do apologize if I'm a little bold, but seeing as it's a long trip, and I've already had the pleasure of talking with the people I travel with, and they're all quite boring and beneath me, I figured you being an individual of, as he looks up and down, astounding nature, I thought we could have a conversation. or two. You seem to be a well carried sort.
Well, I would love to have a sip of tea with you. I am unfortunately extremely busy right now, and I do have to go through my paperwork.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I'm sure we're traveling the same way. We'll have plenty of time to talk during the evening. I'll see if I can arrange for some tea, since you seem to take a fancy. Of course, how rude of me. My name is Lawrence, as he takes a bow. I look forward to being able to converse with you more in the future. Um, and your name would be, my lady?
Inxira. And she's
What,
going to give like a little petite curtsy of her skirt. What's left of it, at least.
what an interesting name. Not familiar of any families. Are you from around here? At which point he starts turning, feeling someone staring at him, comes face to face with Damien. Uh, hello, sir. Didn't hear you approach me from behind. Can I help you with something?
Lydia.
Barely hear you, Lydia. It sounds like you're far away from your mic.
Sorry.
Come to the mic.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yes.
What?
You put the headset down or something, didn't you?
No, I put. It's one of those spinny ones, so it moves up and down.
Move the mic away from your mouth.
Mhm.
So, what are you doing with your intimidation check after you approach the guy and he turns to face you?
More of. May I ask what you are doing with Our Lady? Hopefully that didn't come out as like a slur.
No.
Okay.
Um, I was merely being cordial and introducing myself, since she seems to be an individual of high standing, and we may have much to talk about. I understand, and he just sort of like lifts up a hand, sort of like waves a finger in your direction, that you have a job or something to do, and that you're just performing that actions. But I, of course, mean no hostilities, nor am I armed.
Oh. Oh, you're just.
I'm
You
assuming
really
that's a
scared me.
test roll, Squeaky.
I hope
Yes.
so.
Just picks up the bow and arrow and shoots him in the back in front of everybody in the camp.
It's like, well,
Wait.
it's like, well, you shot him in the back. You didn't know it was coming. Apply sneak attack. God, that would
That's
be
the way
so
to
much
send a
damage. He'd be fucked.
symbol.
It's within 30 feet, so you get so you get the sneak attack bonus.
Oh
Although
my
That's
Squeaky,
fine.
with a
god.
Just let
bow,
people
you
know
do
how you
not
feel
get
about
ability
people bothering
damage.
you.
Oh my god. Did
I
I
assume that's a
do
test
that
roll.
correctly?
You don't get the ability mod in damage.
Oh, okay.
It's just straight dice.
Unless you have like a special bow that lets you do.
I do not have one of those.
Yeah, just a regular short
Not
bow, so
currently.
it's just D6.
Though
What
if I want to
shit?
make that bow nasty, I'll just poison it.
Of course, if you can get sneak attack, then not so bad.
Well, that's where that weapon gets terrifying. Is she can sneak attack somebody with that shit,
Bunch of D6.
and then I can throw poison on it and make it even worse.
Then I'll be in Drow.
Well, if you'll excuse me, lady, apparently your guards are quite protective. I'll excuse myself for now. Been a pleasure.
Toodles.
At which point Lawrence will excuse himself, step aside and around Damien, which he didn't bother to get the individual's name, and head back over to his tent.
Sam looks over at Nixra and mutters in Terran, and he thinks you're the one in charge. Wait till he finds out it's not what he thinks.
Hey man, I'm just a pretty one. You do all the talking.
Exactly. He's flirting with the wrong one. Not that it would do him any good.
Man, we might actually have something going on here. I lure them in, you talk to them, and then Darian over there backstabs him.
I will gladly do the honors, milady. She would say that in Alwyn.
I was gonna say, unless you know Terra, you don't know shit of what's being said.
Nope, not yet.
Not yet.
We're
I
one
just
we're one language short of having all the primals. Don't worry, I've
Um,
been thinking about getting Ignan.
oh, bro, I was planning on doing that.
Well, it
I
makes
was
more
meanwhile,
also
sense for the
planning on
smith
it.
to have earth and fire.
Yeah,
and meanwhile,
kind of.
Ash only knows common and a very dangerous demonic language that nobody should know.
What, Abyssal?
Uh, Daukir.
Oh, you've got Valkyr,
That's
yeah.
the
No,
insanity
not Daukir.
language.
Daukir.
I've
It's a
got other
demonic language.
languages, it's just some of them may or may not get me in trouble.
Just the
It'll get
primal
Ash in
thing.
trouble if he was like, hey, that what do you mean you guys can't read it? That says what's everyone give me a look for?
But
Darn the witch!
but
No, he's
you'll
just a
see
warlock if it's male.
Warlock.
Damien would be arching an eyebrow at the mention. I'm pretty sure the name will constantly stay the same no matter what language.
Eh,
At,
Sam would fill you in later. It might need you as a knife man later.
of course.
At which point, a lot of you will continue to travel and make decent time along the way, no less. As it will be another 13 days.
On the road again.
And you will reach the next town after 20 days of travel. This is a larger town than the previous one and seems to have more of a merchant style to it, along with several larger shops and many caravans coming and going, ranging from commoners, slave trade auctions, to deals down in the bazaar of unique and questionable origin, to all the way up to more religious sites and offerings that could be done at a large temple.
Damien is just examining the area, trying to look for sea and stuff because I want to go home, man.
Ash is just looking around, being amazed at how impressive and beautiful this whole town used to be. And nice to see that it's actually full of life and not unlife.
Give it like 100 and some odd years, and they'll all be undead, man. Even the children.
Fuck the crouch goblins.
Not the
So-
children, but then again, you guys are like, yes, the children.
Dude, neutral. I don't give two shits.
All right, so you guys are in the town. The wagon will be resting here for 2 days, while some individuals depart and others join for the next ride. You are free to take liberties at that time, although room and board is not supplied. So
Eh.
luckily, Sam has gathered some funds from selling some vials, so it should be enough to cover you for a stay. And luckily, there are rather large and plentiful inns here in this town, so it should not be too much of a hassle for you to be able to procure a room, or two, three, or four, whatever you're looking for.
Well, usually, aren't they like 5 silver naturally?
How
It
much?
varies.
What is the terrain like outside of the little town?
This town has a population of about 1,500 at any one time. And the terrain outside is mostly rolling hills and plains, not too much in the forest.
Does it have
Although
a single tree?
there are a few small trees here and there, just not a big, thick forested area. So, yeah, every like 15, 20 feet, you'll get one or two large trees.
Why do I have to roll to climb a tree?
Climb.
Yeah.
Oh, right, that's a skill.
Although the direction you guys are headed will be taking you to a forested area you have to pass through.
Yeah, but Inxira's gonna want to sleep in a tree and not in a hotel.
Should
Or
be
until
most
he leaves.
interesting in your dress to watch you climb a tree.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going outside of town.
Fair enough.
Although they're gonna notice, probably, unless you're very subtle about it, which what the recommendation would be is check into a room, and then Sam just opens a window and you fly out in bird form and come back the
Then we'd
next
have to
morning.
pay for the room.
Huh?
Then we'd have to pay for the room.
Sam has to pay for a room anyway.
Fair enough. Okay, yep, that's just one thing I'll have to.
It's one of those of like, yeah, there was that.
As you ask around and it's announced, you guys are in a large trade town of sorts. It has a different purpose, although it's not something that would really interest you, I think, as to what the town really serves mostly to. But as for Bergapple, as the town seems to be called, there's a slight slur of the language. Tongue's a little bit different, but it's still common. Something you guys are having to get adjusted to ever so slightly. Pretty much consider it southern accent versus northern accent kind of difference.
Oh god.
Subtle, but still there, and sometimes more
Yeah.
pronounced than subtle.
Oh,
Kind of
that's
like
potato. Oh, you mean you're talking about the potatoes? Yes, yes, we have potatoes. Uh,
top of the motor to
pot-
you a lot.
potatoes.
No, that's
Why you say
different.
it like that? No, 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 no. You mean potatoes? Yeah, yes, we have those.
What about tomatoes? Oh, you mean tomatoes?
How about we ignore this situation and then go smoke something?
That's
That's actually readily available here. We have plenty of opium dens and other drug trade.
Oh,
That's the
God.
major
Oh no,
money
all of
made
our
here.
money's gone.
oh,
Yeah,
what
no.
money? Sam
I'm
has
going
it
to be
all.
a high as fuck bird.
Uh, I think y'all are forgetting one key fact.
Sam has
That
all the money.
You have no local money.
Yeah.
Shit.
You must wait till Sam falls asleep and loot her.
I was gonna say, who do you think has the money and who do you think has the tightest purse strings normally?
and who?
Wait a minute. I have like 70 gold on me.
Oh,
BM, hit me up.
the wrong currency.
Mhm.
Exactly. It's like
Time.
time travel because the gold will be too new, and you're like, wait, what
It's
is
got
this?
all the
Have
wrong markings.
currency from Ebunstalt, a, a large trade town, and basically from the central continent, which hasn't even been founded yet.
Oh my god. I need to
You
get high.
So you start flashing coins, they'll be like, "Huh, I don't recognize this symbol. That's weird. Are you from off continent?"
Yes?
Start pulling more
Question mark.
aggro.
At which point, more questions ensue and more difficulty, because what with war and everything, they don't really like outsiders as much and such.
Very
So usually
distrustful
need
of
mercenaries or
foreigners.
questful and other problems and headaches.
And that's why I can't wait to get to the port town. I want my sea, and I want to be a sailor again.
Good
You're not gonna
luck.
get that.
I know.
Thankfully, the capital has a large port system, so she just has to wait another 70 days.
I am determined to become a sky pirate. Might have to wait a couple of centuries, but that's fine.
Based on timeline, yeah, the first airship has not been built yet.
Don't even ask. I ain't doing it.
Hmm.
I'm gonna head you off right there, girl.
72 minus 874. It's only 98 years till the first ship gets invented. You want to guess how long it stayed in the air before it crashed?
10 seconds.
And now
1 second.
5 minutes?
Uh, it's a trial and error kind of thing, Wright brother style.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
So, Michael, for 2 days at the end of common nature, is that going to be the standard 5 silver?
No.
An inn? Or how much
No.
is it?
Rooms are limited as there is an influx for market trade, as this is a high peak time for people looking to offload goods, uh, trade in drugs and slaves. So there's a lot of people here buying and selling slaves and drugs. So rooms are limited. You either have a questionable section of town with a low price of 5 silver single room, or you can get one in the higher market, which is 10 gold, or you can get one
Holy
in the
shit.
middle section, which can get you 2 rooms for the price of 2 gold per day.
2 rooms
All
for
those
two
are per
gold.
day cost.
Oh, crap.
It does include food, though, and water,
I don't care about the food.
and nice amenities,
Amenities are good.
as they get quite a few merchants. So the rooms are well decorated, quite lavish, and for a few extra money, you can even have a individual come and visit you if you wish, as the guy informs you.
He just gets a look at that one.
If your lady wishes,
No, thank you.
very well. If you need anything, please let us know.
Michael, I think we're going to go with 2 rooms for 2 gold.
Okay, so
And
that'd
for two
be
days, it's going to be 4 gold.
Wait, do we at least get boarding?
it's 2 gold per room, Adam.
You
They
said
just
it was
had
2
the
gold
other
for
places
two
had
rooms.
one room for 5 silver in a crappy neighborhood. The other one had one room in a high price area for 10 gold. And the other place has 2 rooms available, each 2 gold.
Oh.
So you could just share one room for 2 gold. They just have two available per day. So if you want to do a single room for 2 gold, that'd be 4 gold. If you want to take up both rooms available,
How
you
big are these
totally can,
rooms?
and that'll be 8 gold.
How big are these rooms?
They are decently sized. They can accommodate 5 people cramped, 3 people decently, 4 moderately. They have 2 beds in them, which are able to hold 2 people each. They have 2 tables, 6 chairs. It is basically a room about 60 foot by 30 foot.
Sam,
Hmm.
mind if I ask for some currency?
They also even have a bath in there.
I think we're just going to go with 1 room.
Alright then. That.
And I'm going to have to find a way to make us more currency. So I will
Well,
pay for 1 room for 2 nights.
Guy looks at you for a moment, looks over, sees 2 guards. Understandable precaution. You shouldn't have anything to worry about. Very well then, 1 room it is. Gives you the
Always
key to your
edge on
room.
the side of caution. You live longer.
Yeah, I mean, figures the ladies would want a separate room from the men, but seeing as you're armed and that you're obviously wearing armor and that you are concerned about her, and the other two are bodyguards, like, understandable you wouldn't want her to be separated. So he gives you the key, has an individual escort you up to your room. Guy will let you open the door into yourself. He'll come into the room and ask you if you need anything at all or want anything brought to you or anyone.
We're good with this as it is, although we will be arranging for baths later in the
Of
evening.
course, water will be brought in. Uh, slave trade will happen at noon tomorrow if you're interested, both in the north and eastern side. I recommend the northern side as the slaves are better treated and more capable. The eastern side usually has cheap labor, which is disposable, usually for gladiatorial fights or other quick interest. And then, of course, if you're interested in the illicit items that are legal within the city, they can be found behind the temple in several of the opium dens.
Understood.
My pleasure assisting you. Thank you for your stay. And then he will step out and close the door behind him. The door does have 2 locks on it, and the key that opens the door does seem to be protected by an arcane lock, so they do care about their patrons' privacies.
Good, so I don't
alright
have
then.
to manufacture more security. Got it.
Are we locking all the locks tonight?
Yes.
Mm.
2 locks. If you tried to force the door, an alarm would sound. without the key being used. So yeah,
Just to be sure, should after the 2 hours thing, that's all I'll be requiring for rest, thanks to the ring. Would you like me to stand out guard just for more cover?
Not outside. If you're outside, you're on your own. Easier for them to try something if they're stupid. Which, based on this place, they're not, so they're not going to.
Very well.
It'll only attract more attention, possibly. As for your request, give me a little bit and I can make it more available. Although you'll have to offload it and get yourself actual coin.
at which point, knock at the door.
I'll unlock the door and check it.
Upon cracking the door slightly, you see a familiar, blonde headed, well dressed individual. Excuse me, I hope I'm not intruding. It's just, I noticed that we'd be staying in the same inn, and I just want to let you know that if you need anything, Lawrence is at your disposal. I'll be two doors down on the left side, of course.
Of course.
What a coincidence that I had reserved my room here and you happen to be staying here.
Indeed.
And from over Sam's shoulder, a large figure appears and glares at him. He just sort of looks past Sam a little bit, looks back at Sam. I do see you're busy. I'll stop by later and see if your lady would like to have dinner.
Ash also sits up and looks at.
As he retreats, I close the door and relock it.
Well done, bodyguard.
Well done, security. Well done.
Dark figure, menacing eyes appear, and out of here.
So, what she has done, she is not letting her eye thing happen in this form. It's just daggers.
That look of try something, please, so I can
Big
put your head
brother.
on a pike.
I hate
Like-
you and I protect my lady. Leave.
Big brother has an eye on her. Big brother won't let anything happen to little sister.
Although I
You say that, but it's like, stop and think about that. Which one's the little sister?
Good point.
Little sister is the big one. Scary sister is the
will
littlest of the
actually
group.
bring up though that perhaps we could get our currency through him, considering the fact that he wants so badly to have dinner, and it's not going to go anywhere if we decided to do such a choice. Sam?
I would have no problem in using him to facilitate transactions. The catch is we have to have something to facilitate the transaction.
I thought you said that you had items. You have plenty of gems or something we could sell.
I do have gems, and I do have other things. The catch is some of them are of a high priced nature and might attract too much attention.
So
That is
sell
the
little by
issue.
little.
Now, I had other options I was considering, namely the gems, maybe one or two other items, and then if I can find the appropriate equipment, I can simply make us bars of gold or silver, or even copper. And then we sell them. Not necessarily the best monetary transaction, but it will get us money. And it's a fairly
Money that I would like. I don't
Yeah.
like being on my ass.
Yes. Well, for us to get what we need, we're gonna need funds. I don't
You have
like
several
this
other towns to
funds.
stop, and if it's just as pricey, you may start dwindling on money.
Still,
Be
you have
pretty
no
good.
idea how accurate that is to Sam when it comes to people eyeing the lady.
I was using that one for Damien's glare.
That's accurate too. I guess that would be Damien, and Sam would be the quiet, calm one to the side. You're the one that attracts all the attention. I'm the one that fucks somebody up the most.
I found a better one of the two of them.
And Ash is just there.
Poor Ash. Oh,
I didn't ask to be
High
back
school
here. I just want
club.
to go back.
Mhm.
Or on high school club.
Mhm.
I just want to come home. I just want to go home. Isn't that so much to ask? He's just sad.
yes, it
Honestly,
is apparently.
the closest comparison is Haruhi would definitely be 7. Honey would probably be Sam, and then oh god, what was the guy who was always with Honey? I can't remember his name.
Oh, the big guy.
The big
Mhm.
guy. That would be probably
Sam or someone.
um
Oh.
Estella right now.
Mhm.
And then Ash would be the dark magic guy.
Oh, crazy dude.
Yes, because he was always talking to the little puppet.
Mhm.
Okay, so we have a room. We need to figure out
So
money.
I'm gonna be posting some stuff in Loot Channel. So those 2 items we can hawk and get stuff for. And then if Sam can find some of the appropriate stuff, she can probably melt down some of what they've got.
Hmm. You almost may want to keep those to play up the more noble aspect.
Uh,
Considering you have a hat disguise, you can dress up the outfit from mercantile to noble, and that would make great accessories.
I've got the necklace,
Otherwise,
Michael.
yeah. Okay, so you're still covered if you do need to jazz your little eye candy up a little bit.
The necklace, I think, would accent it beautifully.
I don't know, it may get lost in there.
No, it's the catch with a good necklace like that is because it rests on top. It gives people an excuse to look.
I'm just admiring the jewelry. Nothing
Exactly.
else.
It's only 1,000 GP in value, so of course they're gonna admire it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. If you're see, the way I always view it is like the neckwear is like you look at neck down. You don't go from up to bottom. I meant top to bottom. No, bottom to top. That's what I meant.
You don't
You
start at the
do.
feet and
They
go
got
up.
big boobs.
I mean, yes, Miss Airbags.
At least they're not going to drown.
I mean, no, you have buoyancy.
Moving on. Where would you like to offload these 2 items?
I'm not. That's that was going to be later because that's for 7 or excuse me, Inixra to use Lawrence. Because remember, for high value trading, you need a mercantile writ. We don't have one. Lawrence does. Maybe as a favor to the lady, he might be willing to facilitate things. That's Sam's thoughts, anyway.
If he's a merchant, not just a noble, but if he does have some pull, he may be able to point her in the right direction.
Correct.
While the transaction's going on, it's just. Mm.
And
As
all we
for
asked for was dinner, and she loves foods with the win-win.
yeah, but I want to have us to have some funds before you do dinner.
Fair enough.
And Ash is just basically just collapsing on the bed, already sound asleep at this point.
Poor guy. Maybe you should send Ash along as bodyguard. The rest of your other 2 may be too emotionally tied.
I don't know. I
Situation.
feel like if Ash was on the job, my character would get killed because he was staring at the thing that's not on his arm but's on his arm.
I was gonna say, honestly, the one to go bodyguard Inixra for that would actually be Damien.
This was more modern times. It'd be fine with Kabu because he'd just be holding his hand up to his head like he has a mic in his ear, like Secret Service.
Yes!
Kabu,
Yes!
Let's do this.
Yes.
Unfortunately, not though.
Actually, I do actually have a good necklace for Inixra. I have all those chrono charms, remember?
Ooh, yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, those are pretty.
Both pretty and useful.
Mm.
Magical.
And actually, I did give that Squeaky. That was actually part of the list. I think I gave you the full list. Did I give you the full list? Looking back, no, I only listed the one. But yes, the Chrono Charms on the bag of holding list, those as well.
Okay.
Which you would have been wearing those for a while by now, and you would have been able to use them. The gauntlets, fun fact, you can do the magical effect, or you can just flat ass punch somebody with them, because they count as weapons for unarmed strikes.
Oh thank God. Oh my God. I forgot to put them on because I was messing with my stupid sharp bow.
Because it does d4s of damage for punching, not counting
Although
the magical effect, which is a
D3
separate.
unless they're spiked. But,
You're correct. It is D3. My apologies.
but the thing is, would that really clash with her outfit or not?
For
Or she just make it
traveling
look like
purposes,
gloves?
for traveling, she probably would have been wearing them.
No,
But also
illusion
remember,
can always
had
make them look like
disguise.
gloves. Yeah,
Mhm.
makes them look like gloves and not gauntlet.
Correct. Although
Oh,
nice
so
gloves, I
ladylike.
think Sam has those also. They're magical too.
Mangoes.
Here we go. Gloves of lightning.
Blinging the girl out.
Yeah. So if you don't want the punchy but want ranged frying somebody, gloves of lightning. And the gloves will look better for show factor as well as efficiency.
Not to mention someone grabs your hand to kiss it or hold it.
Okay,
Yes.
then yeah, we'll go with the zappy.
So
Not to mention, if
gloves
you're
of
a
lightning,
noble
I
and you're
think is
throwing
what
a
you would.
punch, less likely where you're using magic item.
Well, I've got
Get them.
both. She can use either one for the purposes. But Squeaky, look at the on the bag of holding the Sam Magic item list. If it doesn't have an X next to it, it's available for
Okay.
use.
Okay.
Oh, she's getting all prissy up for her date tonight.
Yeah, Chrono Charms, Gloves of Lightning. I need to add an item to that list because it's not on that list.
Okay. I need to move over here.
Because what's on that list, Squeaky, is the stuff Sam has, which those lightning gauntlets I linked before. For some reason, I didn't have on the list, and I need to put those in there.
Honestly, I don't think Ash will keep. Honestly, Ash has a huge intimidation check higher than Estella, but he never had to use it because he's too much of a nice guy.
He is too much of a nice
Did
guy.
they recharge after every day?
The charges, yes, they reset at dawn.
Okay.
Mhm.
Anyone would have
Just
to use
sure.
it'd probably be Kabu when he's controlling.
Hi, my name is Kabu. Pika. Dude! Kabu playing peekaboo.
There we go, Squeaky. Just put a Y next to it, and that way we know it's you're the one who has it.
Okay.
That way we know you currently have those equipped.
But yeah,
Bye.
no, he does
But
have
that's
a
Sam's
higher
stash.
intimidation factor than I do.
Yeah, but
But-
it's also he never had to use it because he's too nice.
Oh,
Well, I was gonna say, as while Damien was probably the best bet to go with Enixra on this, Sam might be requesting Damien's help with a side project while those two do that.
What would
Ash
you
could
want?
help. Well, Ash could help with that unless if you want to wake him up.
No, you're not gonna help with the side project. She needs someone a little bit more on the devious side. And you're too
On the-
showy.
They're going too showy.
No,
What?
Squeaky's too showy.
Oh.
Oh, yay! I get to do work. Am I
Hey!
stealing?
I took the big dumb blonde with huge tits in this little conundrum. Everybody else can do their thing.
Yeah, because it's like, Rogue, I'm going to need you to be able to fence things and find me ways of melting things down.
discretion over here and big beacon of light. Look over here. Distraction.
Exactly.
I mean,
Ah,
yes,
see,
I can
that's-
do the beacon of light. I can do dancing lights and have that cause issues.
Okay, yeah, Ash can't help you with that.
Because I'm basically going to need the equipment for, or at least facilities for smelting or melting metals, because we're gonna melt down some gold because we need some currency. Now here's the catch, and this is gonna be for everybody. If you want currency, you're going to need to fork over stuff so you can get currency. Sam is not funding the entire group constantly.
Mm,
I'm
I'll
nice.
take a
I'm not
look
that
at.
nice.
I'll take a. Honestly, all would request would be. Oh, I could just hand you my rations. That's
No, no, no,
not.
no, 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 no,
Oh,
no. You're missing it.
Materials.
I
oh,
Extra
can
material.
melt the gold you have into a block. Then you
oh.
fence the block for currency.
This time may just be better to fence the item.
I can't fence gold coins of a foreign nationality.
Uh, yeah.
So you want me to find a like some sort of smelting area?
I need the ability to melt gold or silver.
And
Because then once we have it melted down, then we need to be able to sell it to get local coin, which then we can use to pay and buy things. Because since the slave auction is available tomorrow, I will be going. And I might
Oh,
be buying something.
then you wouldn't expect to hear from Sam.
Yes,
so
Sam's the nice one and is like, wait, you're buying a slave? Yes.
the best way to explain Damien's reaction is like the "excuse me" expression from that one GIF.
That blinking and the double take.
Yeah, the double take one. Yeah.
What did you just say?
So yes, I'm going to need currency. We're all going to need it while we're here. We have no way of getting it, so the easiest way is going to
That one.
be yes. I knew exactly which one you were talking about. So we're going to need to be able to melt down some coins into blocks, and then we're going to need to find a place that we can sell them. This
Right.
way, we will each have currency we can use for whatever we want. Some of you have already asked for money. Well, we need to be able to have money to spend it.
You do realize that asking for a smelting area is going to be hard to find. And it's not exactly the most quietest activity.
Actually, you'd be surprised.
Elsie
Forges are
is right.
always very busy. The catch is you have to have time to be able to use one or access to it. And as
I
long as they're willing to not pay attention to what you're working on, you can do it. That's why I said you need to find a place. I can melt it down. I know how to do that.
all right.
You melt them down just like you melt any other metal down for when you go to make stuff. All I need is a mold and a place to do it.
All right, I'll see if I can try to convince somebody.
Or at least get me a something like a I'm going to need a mold. Period. I can
Okay.
make one if necessary. But if you have one, it'll make it easier. The other thing is also I'm going to need a source of heat. So if it's not a forge, I'm going to need a strong hot flame.
Oh, oh wow, that's gonna be easy. I'll
Exactly.
see what I
So
can do.
a forge or a smith, which there's always going to be a blacksmith somewhere in town.
You do realize that if I go asking, they're going to assume that I'm the smith, right?
No, you're inquiring on the behalf of another.
All right. I'll see. Like I said, I'll see what I can do.
Besides which, I trust your ability to find out things and information in places to be able to do things better than I can. Can I deal with a smith? Yes. Can I find a place to hawk gold bars? No. If you can find the smith, I can talk to him.
Very well. I'll get in contact with them.
And then I'll give Damien. Let me see, how much money do I have? Because you're going to need some money to.
Rent a.
Well, more of
grease the
grease palms
wheels.
and be able to get the intel you need.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I give you 5 gold, 20 silver.
5 gold, 20 silver.
Yeah,
All right.
should be enough to cover everything. Once you find the guy, then I can work on negotiating, or you can negotiate your choice.
I have decent negotiating skills, but not perfection.
Then I will leave it in your hands for this.
Wait. Um. Is Ash asleep this entire time?
Yes.
Yes, he's still.
That's why he
Probably
didn't
for
say
the
anything about the
best.
slave comment, otherwise, he probably would have.
He's just deep asleep after a long, after 20 days of sleeping on the tent. He's now on a bed. It just feels so comfy, and he's now
Out like a
counting
light.
wooloos.
Yeah, considering you guys were sleeping on dirt, sleeping on rocks, sleeping on the ground under trees, sleeping on a boat in a hammock, sleeping in a carriage or on the ground on like a bedroll in a tent. Now you actually have a nice bed, a
I mean,
nice
I slept with
quality.
no issues. I
Yeah,
don't know about you
boom,
guys.
dead.
Meanwhile, I would not be able to sleep at all because I'm used to the cot.
Or the hammock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's Miss Wellendow doing?
Probably looking at Sam, trying to figure out why Sam wants a slave.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely looking at Sam, figuring out why she wants a slave, and then probably picking their fingernails.
Estelle will take the money and go on her quest.
All right, roll me a gather information and let's see how things go for you.
Please don't roll one.
Thank
She's fucking
God you
roll.
She's
instantly get like a +2 bonus in this city since information is readily available.
That would be a 13 then.
Fortunately, that's not good enough. So let's see what it costs you. That cost you 2 gold.
All right then.
And
That's
you
fine.
really got nothing but hearsay and rumors, which led to dead ends. You can try again if you want. Let's see what that cost you time wise. Cost you 2 hours for 2 gold.
Which, how long is it till quote unquote dinner?
He didn't say. I guess until he comes a knocking,
Well, what?
asking her ready.
There we go.
Let me rephrase it. What time of day is it?
You're right back.
You guys arrived around noontime. You guys spent about an hour sorting around town and then getting situated and chit chatting for an hour. So it's headed toward 2 o'clock. So now it's about 4 o'clock plus whatever. It's going to take another 3. So it's 4. That's about 7 o'clock that Damien will get his activities done.
Yeah. In the
Aw.
meantime, we've got Enixra prepped,
And that'll cost you 4 gold.
Shit.
which you had.
Oh, I did.
You
Okay.
had it in silver.
Okay then.
6 gold total is what it ended up costing you for those 6 hours.
And I gave you 5 gold, 20 silver.
All
Or
right
five
then.
5 gold, sorry, for 6 hours worth of work.
Still irritating, but that's fine.
Well, wait, no, sorry, I was right originally. 6 gold, 5 hours. So you paid a little bit more for your time.
Yeah, so she has basically 1 gold in value left.
Unfortunately, she asked information twice, and the black market and other thieves guild that are located in town, by asking all that questions and throwing around money, will draw attention. So let's see. Did you catch a few eyes? Below 50. Yes, you did. Thieves Guild is aware you are interested in stuff, so you will be approached.
Ah, shit. Okay. This is fine.
Hey, this is a questionable town, so you're fine. It's if you start asking questionable, then they're going to start asking real questions. They're like,
Oh,
oh,
we got a new follower.
someone
Yay,
working for a
thank you
noble,
for the
throwing
follow.
around money, looking for a good time. Not a problem. We're interested. Let us help you. as they come as an individual with another guy, big and burly, bald, scar on the face, traditional stuff, and a lot of weapons. Three knives on him and a sword on his back. Come walking up with a smaller guy with just a little dagger in hand, picking his fingernails, kind of wheezy looking. Excuse me, sir. I hear that you've been asking around a lot of questions. I mean, perfectly fine here. Many of the items are readily available in the city, people and otherwise. But you seem to be asking some really different type of questions. So, curiosity, um, not to cause problems, of course, just here to help you.
Well,
Here, you're interested in a forge. That can be arranged quite easily, something better than what you are currently interested in. What might you need with such a thing?
It is to aid my other charge.
Oh, you mean the one staying over at Hilbert's Inn? The four of you, or three currently with you out and about.
Yes.
Most interesting. Um, didn't quite answer my question, though. What do you need with a forge? Or what should I say, your associate need with the forge? I very much doubt your lady is one to be working with tools.
Depends on which lady.
She's of
I
course
can't.
referring to your
Oh yes.
noblewoman that you serve.
Yes, the one I serve.
So,
Sure.
how can I help you?
We're currently thinking about melting down our current coin to make it easier to purchase.
A legal I mean, acquired goods need to be converted into a more solid form. That is doable in this city. We even have
Okay.
individuals that do such activities for a price. Discreetly, of course, for a price.
Mhm.
Would you be interested? As he sort of looks at Damien and just a blank look, like not quite catching on. For a price. For a price. Would you be interested?
How much will that cost?
Oh, not much. Let's say 18%.
How.
Out of character. Did he just say 80?
18%.
Okay. I thought I was hearing incorrectly. I'm like, there's no way in frickin' hell he said 80. So what
I
did I
heard
hear?
82.
Hmm.
Yeah, I heard 80
He doesn't
myself.
know how much money you have, so he's like, 18%. He was going to say 80%, but he figured that would run you off immediately. And Damien doesn't look like the negotiating type, so he's going to start a little bit lower.
Damien look like a negotiator? No, he looks like the bruiser.
Yeah, it's like 18%.
I find that hilarious because the picture I chose, it's not extremely flamboyant, but it's not subtle either.
Yeah, but you're the help. You're a bodyguard. You're armed. You're traveling with a beautiful woman. You're obviously there to escort her. You're not a merchant. You're not a trader. You're not a noble. You're not going to know how to negotiate. You were hired for an obvious purpose, which is protect the girl. Whether it's on behalf of her father, someone else, or her hiring you personally. So he's trying to keep it simple, and you don't seem to be catching on to hints and lingo here and there. So it's like,
Yeah,
just gonna make
she's
this easier, which is so much easier because you're actually a rogue and a pirate. So you're like, yeah, yeah, I'm an idiot, right? Yeah, let's do this.
yeah, sure.
I'll just act like I'm Ash.
Ow! And Ash sneezes. Someone talking about me.
Ash just wakes up like, did
Yes,
someone say my
18
name?
seems
Sleeps
very.
again.
Sam
18
would be
seems.
waking you up probably long before this.
I will get in contact with my lady, and we'll go from there.
Oh, no need. We'll be happy to escort you back to your lady. After all, the individual that will be wanting this will surely need to know where the location is, and there's no reason to go through help to get this done. Lead the way.
Oh, he's gonna get a rude awakening.
Mm-hmm.
Who, Ash or
No, this guy. He's gonna think we don't need the hired help. He's gonna enter the room. It's like Sam's gonna be the one in charge, and it's gonna really fuck with his shit.
He
Estelle,
just wants to make sure he gets paid, and he wants to do this as quick as possible. So he's just like, no, no, no messaging back and forth. Try to find us again. We're gonna have to find and wait for you. No, no, no. Let me go speak to the person who's interested or your boss. We'll get this done quickly.
All right, Estelle is going to. I meant Damien's going to escort him to.
At which point he just motions at the big guy, and big guy just follows, and he just puts away the knife and just sort of, hunched over, kind of follows you, all creepy, rubbing his hands together, like, yeah, this is good, easy money.
By that point, the invitation has probably arrived for Inixra. Am I correct?
That arrived at oh, it's not gonna be for another hour.
Oh,
This guy
okay.
likes a late dinner.
That's
He means
fine.
dinner, not 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I think he's expecting a exciting evening. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
I don't think he can survive that.
oh,
Probably not. Which 3 hours, so a little bit after, right at the end of your first gather information, an individual, a younger man, will come knocking at the door and basically hand over a letter informing that at 8 in 5 hours, a room at a nice place to eat, the establishment that your lady is invited, and a table is prepared for two.
Understood. I will
do you want me to go with her?
hand the invitation over.
And then the individual will wait to be tipped.
I will. DM, the player does not know, but what is the appropriate tipping amount? Because that is what Sam would do.
Probably just a couple of copper or so. I mean, he's just basically an errand boy, so probably 1 to 3 copper, 1 to 4, whatever would probably
Here's
be
a
adequate.
single penny.
So it's not like he seems to be pretty plainly dressed, so probably just a messenger boy that he paid to deliver this. Here, child, run this down.
I'll tip him a few copper. Here's one catch for the DM. I don't have local currency in copper. I have copper currency from two places. I have it from Ebunstalt and then from when I was traveling from before Ebunstalt.
So just center continent currency.
Yeah, not whatever Ebunstalt has, which I'll give him some of the center continent generic stuff. And I'll tip him 3.
Salt has pretty much a mixture of coinage, but quite a bit of that is, largely central continent and stamped.
Yeah.
So you'll give him just the pre-coins that you had.
Oh, I've got more than 3, but I will give him 3 because or what's the generous is 4, so I'll give him 4.
He is very surprised. Says thank you, gives you a little bow as best he can, and says "milady," and then takes off running.
Yes, because if he's tipped generously, he'll accept it with thanks and then run away and not look twice.
I'm gonna buy a cookie.
Probably will. Probably will.
Yay, cookie!
So we will be getting. Sam will be planning the dinner with Inixra and coordinating her outfit.
Coordinating outfit, thinking about topics she should talk about,
Yeah.
and a backstory upon where she comes from.
I will need a spot from Sam though.
Alright. You had to ask for that, of course.
I had to ask for that, of course.
Figures!
All good.
a good spot or a shitty spot?
It's classic Sam.
So shitty.
In
Got it.
air paid, done.
I will give the note over to Inixra as I'm supposed to.
And I still deep asleep unless
I'm
Sam
going
have.
to look at the note and then note its specific writing style.
Uh, Mostly common, although very well done penmanship wise. So obviously he took the time to do it himself. And some of the characteristics are a little bit older style versus more modern word usage and terms, but all fine. If anything, he's got a nice penmanship compared to his questionable personality intent.
That is something to talk about.
Yeah, you're.
And away from sex.
Yeah.
Sam would either shoot him or you, one of the two.
Um. Well, stop and think. But would Sam get a chance to get to him? Because 7 is not necessarily nice.
I mean, to be fair, there's just a highly likelihood that if he tried to take her back to bed, that he would just go, I'm an animal in bed, and then turn into a dog and tear his throat out.
Oh,
If you do that, you're going to create a time paradox. You know that.
Oh no, it's have you not seen the meme? I'm an animal in bed, and then
I
flip
know.
over, sees the curl up in the covers, feed me.
yeah, I
Yeah,
love that
yeah.
one.
I can totally see 7 doing it.
That's
It would be perfectly on point.
that's honestly me.
It would. And I love it.
Although if you do end up killing him, unless he was meant to die by you, we're gonna create a time paradox.
Would you quit worrying about the damn time paradox?
Let's not think about
Seven
it.
cares?
You think Sam cares?
At this point, yeah, you're right.
All right, so you were invited to Elvar's fine dining restaurant to dine with Lawrence at 8. At which point, 4 hours later, after the little street urchin,
By this
you
point, I
will.
might have gotten proper table manners drilled into 7.
That's gonna take more than 4 hours. You need like a couple of weeks.
Oh, Sam has the pair of glasses to do the proper Taskmaster look. She does have
At which point,
spectacles.
you will, an hour before the spectacle, you'll have a knock at the door as Damien's returned.
Check
Sam,
the
you're on.
door as appropriate. See Damien. See extra.
These are the folks that I was talking to about the currency. Very.
You.
And this is the lady who's in charge.
Sam just opens the door and gestures them to come in.
They didn't want to go through me.
Inkara's just going to mention she's the secretary
Well, yes.
in charge of everything.
Yes. She's the one who hired me, therefore I go to her.
The smaller, wheezy looking guy with slick back hair will step in, hold up his hand, and tell the other guy to wait outside, and then close the door. As he almost closes it completely, he stops, goes, looks around the room, seeing guy passed out on bed, two armed people, and then the lady sitting at the table. Um, would you like your associate to step outside while we discuss matters?
Sam raises an eyebrow, looks at uh, Jonathan, who's passed out, and looks at Damien. I don't think the extra security is needed outside. As for what'll be happening, they're already aware, except for the one asleep. He went to sleep immediately. He'll be on duty tonight. And I know from
Very
experience
well.
he sleeps through a lot.
At which point the guy will close the door, flick one of the locks, go and make himself comfortable, sit down in the chair across from the rather beautiful disguised Sam, or I should say 7, and say, "So how can I help you?"
Inkara is just going to motion over to Sam. She does the talking for me. And then take a sip of her tea.
Of course. After all, you have nothing to do with this. I completely understand. No knowledge, no problems. He will stand up, turn the chair a little bit, look at you, cross his legs, pull up dagger, and be like trimming his nails. So, how can I assist, as he points the knife at you, with this activity that no one is aware of?
As you might have gathered or might not have, I don't know. But let's progress. As the
Hearsay. Yeah.
information to be gathered is that we have coin. It does not belong here. It needs to disappear.
Hmm. All
But
I'm hearing
I
is you
don't
have
want
some
it given away
precious
for
metals that
free.
need to be repurposed, and you'd like to pay a smith to do a little bit of work, metalworking. Gotcha, gotcha. Something pretty like in the form of a necklace or whatever. A small cost of trade, work done, maybe closer to nighttime, all good. We could probably arrange that in about 3 or 4 days.
You're thinking a little too ornate.
No, I'm pretty sure what you mean is a nice set of jewelry, maybe a bracelet or something made, as he looks at you.
Quite possibly. However, we don't have that much time. You see, the caravan leaves in 2 days.
Okay, so you need the jewelry done quicker. Maybe not such a fancy bracelet, maybe something just real simple. One solid piece, no decorative work done. Yeah, that could be done. We could arrange for one done tonight. Some of the forges work rather lately. Sometimes guys step away, towel down, get a sip, rest, change of shifts. Stuff becomes available.
Um, I think there's a slight miscommunication here. How much coin were you thinking I was talking about?
How much pieces of precious metals were you looking to convert into a piece of jewelry?
Sam just smiles. I think we should measure by weight.
Damien is kind of smirking at this point.
We have a shop for that.
Eager is just going to be giggling.
Because,
Shall we go pay a visit?
perhaps yes, because I can measure what we need by tens of pounds.
Fair enough. If it's an average coin, it should weigh a certain amount, so we could always estimate it. But if you want to do it by weight, we can definitely swing by a shop that we are aware of. It will cost a little bit since we'll be using our tools and so forth, and it is a slight detour. I hope you don't mind. We'd be asking 25%.
Oh, that depends. I have tools. I have the skill. I need the facilities. Because then I
Yes.
can melt it into blocks that are suitable for
Uh, uh,
trade
uh,
at
uh,
a
uh,
mining town.
Jewelry that you're being done by a jeweler.
Correct.
You just happen to come across some
Entrepreneur.
ore and you need to convert it over.
Correct.
Entrepreneur.
Hey, don't steal our lines.
So you wish to go to our location, you wish to use our scales and weigh, you wish to arrange the use of a forge, which you'll do the work yourself over the long night, and then we will handle the facilitation and removal of the jewelry into a market setting.
Sounds
Shall,
fair.
shall we say 30% then?
You're asking for more when I'm doing more.
Well, sounds like a lot of legwork and exchanging of hands and a shop here, and a guy here, and a pay behind the table. I mean, a pay for services rendered. So, it can get a little costly for things not to have happened.
Subtle.
True. Then let us rearrange things slightly. What if I gave you plenty of time to convert it how you choose into what you choose? In the meantime, we take in trade other goods.
Oh, you'd want to give us the ore, and then we could make jewelry from it to resell legally.
At your convenience.
Interesting. And then you just want to be changing the ore per weight to an equivalent value minus the exchange cost.
Of course, there has to be some profit in it for the one doing the buying and selling and trading.
I guess you really wouldn't need the forge, so we'd cut that out. Scales would obviously, just to value the weight and have it looked over.
Of course.
already was factored in, so 20%.
Hmm.
I mean, it is late. I'm sure many of the shops are closed. I mean, we could probably arrange something probably later tomorrow, more public or otherwise secretive. Oh, but you'll be leaving.
I leave in 2 days. Now,
Yeah.
if you're saying you know of a place that would be open maybe a little before hours tomorrow morning,
There are a few places like that, yes. I think I know one that's a little bit out of the ways, not too much attention, and he tends to work more privately, his own hours.
I have known many smiths that way. They tend to get more done that way.
Yes, I think this would work nicely for you. A little weighing by him, a little him buying the ore, doing what he needs to, and problem solved. And you get paid. Just cost 20%. He'll want 10 for services, and we'll get 10 for all the work we've done. Fair?
So he gets 10% and you get 10%?
Yes.
I like these numbers better. I have no issues with this. So, when and where should we meet? Because if you think I'm going to give you the goods now, you are mistaken.
Oh, perish the thought. After all, you're bringing the ore to the jeweler to weigh and appraise so he may use his proper and legit means of smelting to convert the precious ore you happen to get from your mine, your servants,
Our source.
leftover goods, whatever the case may be.
Yes. We had a source for materials. Now we need the materials transformed into more. What's the right term? Transportable means? So, yes, this will work. So, again, when and where?
Most definitely. You said early morning. How about 7?
Easily done.
And how about John's Jack shop?
Location.
West side of town, far away from the scene of the eastern side slave trade or northern area where most of the things are more in public and guards' eyes. Over there on the western side, where most of the smelting and other work are done, you'll find a nice little shop, door heavily barred, windows tinted. Doesn't get much work as older individual doesn't isn't, up very often, mostly retired. No one really bothers.
Sounds perfect. I will see you then.
Excellent. Been a pleasure. I'm darn, I just never got your name. Really got to know you too well.
I never got yours
What a
either.
shame.
What a shame.
You'll excuse me.
What?
Stands up, puts away the dagger, goes to the door, unlocks it, steps out. The big guy waiting there stands back up as he's just like crouching in the corner. And two of them leave.
Shut the door and lock it. If he'd asked for 20% for himself, I'd have told him no.
Probably getting charged a little much, but then again, it's immediate service and it's quick and it's discreet. So,
And a smith gets paid. I have no issue with that either.
And this is why I steal things and not deal things.
But you have to offload the things you steal somehow.
Gold.
Yes, this is how we get the gold. So, how much is anyone willing to put up to get their own converted?
100 sound decent.
That's up to
Ash is
you.
the Ash. I mean, Ash would. Well, you have to wake Ash
I
up.
would be waking Ash up because he needs to be awake because he's fixing to be on duty soon.
Okay, he wakes up, and I guess you give him the speed, and
Ash,
he
got two
just.
things for you. Or should I say, Jonathan, got two things for you. One,
Yeah.
you're going to be on guard duty because
Mhm.
our lady here has a date.
Right.
Your security.
Okay.
As for the other, I have found a way for us to exchange currency. So I'm going to, if you want currency of the local nature, I'm going to need whatever you want converted.
Okay, then let's see. Ash goes in his backpack and let's see. Oh, here's my gold and and he hands you 500 gold.
I take it, stick it in my bag.
Estella will hand over how much? How half of what I got? Yeah, she'll hand over about half of what she has, which is 343.
So 343 from you?
Mm.
So
Half of it.
you have to remember, some of it Ash needs money in order to cure himself. Actually, he'll throw in another 200, so that's 700 for Ash.
Estella would hand over a total of 171.
171. Make it 170 just to make it clean.
How are you so poor?
I bought shit for this specific case.
Same, but I still have. But in
We
total, I have.
looted coin, but what you have in
Yeah,
your character sheet's what you got.
Mm-hmm.
I got 1,000 total. But everything I got is
What about a Nixtra?
1,280. What
Uh,
about what?
You want coin of local type?
I don't have any coins.
Bullshit! Look at bag of holding. Look at the bag of holding woman and say that again to my face.
She a cheap rich
Don't
lady.
Oh God.
It's
Oh,
called shriveled.
Yeah, now you look. Now try say that again to my face, why don't you?
I am not.
Roll that bluff check.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god!
I hold on to her money. I know how much she has. That bullshit does not work.
What I can say is, what the fuck, Nix? How can you forget your own money?
Doesn't carry
Don't
it.
know.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Fair enough.
So I'm going to put down 200
200 of which type?
gold.
That's it?
Yes, because I'm afraid that if I put down more, she's just going to go behind the temple.
You won't see her again. She will be so high like a
I'm going to
kite.
point this out. Noble ladies are expensive. That and it's a 20% cost.
Okay, just take it all.
I ain't going to take it all. But 200 ain't enough, and 1,500 is too much.
Fair enough. We'll go with the good whole 700
700.
in the middle somewhere.
700 and just gold, or are you going to do any of the silver as well?
We'll do some of the silver, like half the silver.
So another 350 in silver. Okay.
Math.
I gotta look at Sam's list. We're gonna do another. How much do I need for my shit? I need a lot for my shit that I'm doing. $1,200 gold, 500 silver.
Between the two of them, or just what Sam's putting?
That's just what Sam's doing.
Oh, okay.
Because one of my crafting projects requires 1,000 GP in materials.
Oh.
I just love the fact that they're like, holy shit, what the fuck are you two doing?
That and the fact I need the money because I'm also planning on buying something while here.
I know what you're buying.
Gotta buy
Hasn't said shit to
pieces.
Ash, so he doesn't know shit still.
Yeah, he doesn't know shit at all. He just thinks like, okay, we need the money. Yeah, he said we're gonna get the money, so this is a good way to get the money.
Yeah, you want local
Estella's-
currency? Yes? Oh, great. Let's go.
Estella's quiet about it, but she's not liking it.
Yeah,
Hey.
worst case, worst. You bring him back with you. He survives and he joins the crew. Done.
It's more of a like she and Killian made a pact to never even be associated with that thing, so that's why she's a little yeah about it.
Well, Sam doesn't know that.
Yep. So, and she's gonna keep her mouth shut about it too.
Oh, I only need 100 materials for that, but that's fine.
Eh,
This
I'll
is
have the
going
money
to
to
be
make
an
more shit.
annoying thing to pop up on my search history, but I'm gonna do it.
Is that enough? Is that gonna be too
what are you
much?
doing?
I'm trying to figure out how much I actually want to convert since I don't actually need the 1,000. Well, I have the money. It's doing me no good, and I can buy shit tons of. Yeah, I might as well do it. All right.
Oh, there's an entire form on this. Okay then.
I'm gonna send this to you, Michael, just so you have the list of what and how much. This is without the 20% reduction.
Hmm.
There's a reason Sam said in tens of pounds. Because I'll do the math because I'm curious as to how much this all weighs.
And so I found a thing that goes over how much a slave would cost, but this is with 5e, but the currency is usually the same.
That's 72 pounds of coin. It's 50 coins to a
That's
pound.
Man, it's been a while since I've ever PM'd you, Michael.
Maybe.
Possibly.
2 weeks. Found the form.
Yay! Nothing like having an official document or semi-official document to know how much it costs you to buy a slave on the market. Oh yeah.
There's probably one for 3.5 somewhere.
I haven't looked that up. It's already in my search history, so might as well add to it.
Arms and equipment guide or something.
It's got definitely has the price for hirelings.
Well, isn't there a difference between a hireling and a slave?
Yeah.
One you
Not
hire
really.
temporarily, one you get ownership of.
Giant's Playground.
All right. Always a good source.
Yeah.
All right. So
Found another one.
resting for the night and other girl going on a event.
Yep, she going on a date.
All right.
Sam, would you like for me to accompany her, or
If the two of you wish to both go with, you can. It would probably be better if both of you did.
alright?
I plan on some preparations for tomorrow.
You can sleep later, Ash. We got jobs to do.
I know you. Ash
Okay.
told. I mean, Samantha told me. There, and who's Ash?
Jonathan.
Thank you, dear bro.
Good time.
It's the Saya being called Samantha.
So the three of you will head out.
Mhm.
Yes.
You have about 20 minutes to get to the location, but then again, a noble woman is never late. Except for when you're late.
It's fashionably late.
What outfit and decorative nature do you take on for your evening meal?
I wish I had a more expensive dress, but all I have is this loincloth.
Well, we do have. Let me go back to my
Things
list.
of disguise.
Well, there's heads of disguise, which is there. I gotta find the thingy. There is still 14 gold and 20 silver left of straight currency available. So, a simple dress, appropriate, we could buy. That could have been something during the prep phase.
aside from the two dresses of merchant quality that are available,
I just
and
got
they could be
PM'd.
modified.
Dude, your search history is now going to be flooded with all the kinkiest shit.
That was random.
You can't say it's
How is that,
incorrect.
Miko?
Puppy.
So, do you take one of the outfits already available and make use of it? Do you stick with your very visible outfit, or do you try to do a late night shopping, hope that you can find something? Oh, wait, all the shops are closed. It's late.
No, it's more of we're gonna. I forgot about the merchant dresses. We're gonna go with the merchant dress since it's trying to keep it. We're sticking to the story of yes, merchant, yes. Everybody knows she's not. She's a merchant. We're gonna. That's our story, and we're gonna stick to it.
I got the hat disguise to jazz it up anyway.
Yes. And then we've also got the chrono charms to act as necklace. A nice necklace, not fancy expensive. There's
Yet again,
the
she can throw an illusion over that, and then the gloves, which she can throw an illusion over that. So yeah, she can prissy herself up.
yeah, Squeaky. For
Yes.
this, I'd say equip the gloves of lightning, not the lightning gauntlets. He's gonna feel the metal if he holds your hand.
I do have the gloves of lightning equipped.
Okay, you marked it as the lightning gauntlets on the sheet.
Yeah, hold on.
I'm gonna fix it real quick.
In case day doesn't go well, she wants to be able to deck him.
Oh no, with the gloves of lightning, she just fries him. Electricity.
Electricity. I love that one. That was so stupid, but it was amazing.
And it always got stuck in your head. They did a very good job of styling it that way.
Dude, it was the stupid like the one. Well, it isn't stupid, but the one that was going over like the revolution, women's rights revolution thing, gets so stuck in my head easily. It's so aggravating. Love the song, but still pisses me off when it gets there.
I don't think I ever. I don't remember that one really. That's okay. I probably didn't miss a whole lot. Just because that
No.
thing would be then get stuck in your head is like no, no, no.
I
Please.
don't want it. Be gone, thought. Quite literally.
So, how is Seven dressed for tonight's event?
She's going to prissy up the mercantile dress so it's no longer boring in her eyes.
All right, so laying the hat of disguise over the outfit to make it appear
Jazzy.
more glamorous and revealing.
Yes.
And then, of course, you got your magical necklace and gloves. And, of course, your little circlet that you're wearing.
Showy but functional.
And you are good to go. Hair down and well endowed.
Yes. Can't have the boobs suddenly magically get smaller.
Yeah. There's multiple reasons why Sam is not going to this.
Why? Because your husband to be is better looking and dressed than you?
Oh.
You're not wrong. But it's more of it's like he's going to want to flirt with her and she's not necessarily going to be okay with that. Then she's going to be getting an early start in the morning, so she's going to go turn in early.
All I need
But
is 2 hours, so.
maybe you do.
I thought you didn't need to sleep.
Oh no, I do.
7.
Oh, 7, yeah.
No, Sam still needs to sleep. It's not eat or drink that she doesn't have to do. She's been eating the berry
Oh.
Then why did you give me the ring?
because I still have to rest the 8 hours to set spells anyway.
Only
Oh,
semi
right.
useful.
The usefulness of it is limited to me. Besides, my rings I have on are better.
Yeah, she meditates for like 8 hours and then does her magic setting and such. Weird long term elf thing, but not
Mm.
elf. All right, so off you go with your two escorts to the dining while Sam stays behind,
So she doesn't have to
Swear
And
to
worry
Ash
about
is
God.
putting a harm on the guy.
and Ash is on guard.
which point you get to Alvart's Fine Restaurant. And there are all kinds of people very well dressed, either merchants trying to look more impressive or nobles who do look quite impressive with a lot of jewelry and money, flapping around, chit chatting, drinking, talking. At which
Yeah.
point, an individual will come walking up, halfly, and say, "Oh, this way, please. You must be the lady here to see my master. Follow me." I,
Inkseeds is just going to raise an eyebrow and follow the little
which
person.
point, he just sort of leads you on, a little look over shoulder. I can see what he sees in you. Uh, Pleasure to see your guards too. Yes, quite nice.
Add a character. Watch your mouth, little shit, or you're gonna get punted.
Copy and paste the gif I sent.
Which point he will lead you to the table. Lauren stand up, dressed quite nicely in what looks to be almost a gold-lined vest, nice pants, long white shirt, sleeves folded up, has a nice brooch on his left lapel and a fancy ring on, and he will offer you a seat, come around, and pull a chair out for you.
She will politely sit down and thank him with a small mumble, and then look back over to her guards and kind of like usher them to not like be standing right next to her, but off to the side where they won't be in the way.
Stella will do as she's told and stand as intimidating as possible.
To the side. Very well. Still
Do
isn't
I?
very intimidating.
The host will basically show up and ask your two guards to leave after about a minute or two, ruining the atmosphere, and
Oh
you have to
no.
stand outside.
Oh boy, he's almost gonna die.
No, 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 no. That's only going to trigger if somebody does something stupid and kidnaps an Ixra, because then you're going to finally find out what an angry Sam is. And I really, 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 really don't want to do that.
As you guys are leaving, he will basically lean over next to your shoulder and basically whisper to her, "You look lovely." Very, as he looks down, very lovely. And then go and take a seat.
Remember, Sam taught you manners.
Rip out throat, rip out.
Hey, Squeaky, or Lydia, that gif is very accurate. Why do you think Sam's not there?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly like the gesture that Damien did, and he leaves.
I've done that to people in real life.
As you two eventually go outside, the halfling will be waiting there. Just be playing with the coin, just sort of look at you. Hey, how's it going?
Damien just gives a nod and a greeting.
Masters, right? What can you do?
I would prefer to stand by her side.
Yet again, what can you do? Nobles, restaurant for nobles, guards, not so welcomed. Just sort of shrugs.
And you are quite the intimidating young man.
Oh, thank you. As he tries to stand up nice and tall at about 3 foot.
I mean, we to go over one of our escape plans. It was not Ash, but Sam running away. Stella shrinking to the size of a halfling to hop on Seven's back in dog form to skedaddle.
Meanwhile, at the dinner event, appetizers get brought in. Quite interesting food choices, as what you can only assume is some kind of cheesy paste and dried bread. As he says, it's kind of a delicacy from overseas, and that the cheese is also laced with a little bit of alcohol to add to its flavoring. Do feel free to partake, as he'll take a little piece also and dip it in the fondue and enjoy himself.
Seven is going to try his best to not just shove his face inside the fondue, and he is in fact going to take a little piece of bread and dip it into the fondue and slowly eat it.
You, you do so delicately and carefully not to break the bread and enjoy, and it is quite good. You can taste a little bit of the alcohol. Meanwhile, outside, the guys are just sort of resting as there's a couple of other people outside also armed. Apparently, all the bodyguards are just sort of waiting for their nobles, masters, and otherwise merchant lords at a
Honest,
safe distance.
honestly, this is bullshit, but it's fine.
I could honestly picture it because it's one of those you walk in, there's the intake chamber lined with security personnel are just looking at you like, try something, please, give me an excuse to do something. You get past them, and it's like fine dining, well dressed people, island of peace and money. If you don't think about the wall of armed security at the front that is more than willing to jump somebody's ass at a moment's notice.
Anyone and everyone, one little noise inside, and all of them are right in weapons
Yes.
drawn. So a nice
Who's
deterrent.
also Damien would be there playing with his dagger.
Somebody start a card game for those fools.
You know.
Which point, after appetizers, meals start to get brought. He does say, "You are looking wonderful tonight. I hope you don't mind, but I went ahead and ordered a specialty that I enjoy here for the both of us."
He's ordering, he's paying.
Exactly. Oh no,
Eat up as you want. Eat
I
everything.
don't mind at all. Perhaps we should share it together.
Of course. I had it set for two, so excellent. We think alike. Maybe we have quite a bit in common.
Well,
I
you did say
totally.
you were a merchant, and my father is a merchant, so we know a little thing or two.
Interesting. Do love your accent. Just can't place where you're from. Hmm.
The forest.
I'm dying over here because the more in common. It's just like, yes, it has more in common. You're both male.
Oh,
That's the
he's
one
gonna
that's
be
just
in
got
for
me.
a rude awakening.
I had to mute myself because I was dying over here.
So what you're saying is this is going to become the it might become the crying games, basically.
Well, Seven
You may
won't
go
be
to sleep
crying.
with a
The other
woman,
guy
but you
might
may
be.
wake up with a guy.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. So,
Meanwhile, Damien is just laughing her ass off.
DM, this is a more question upon what happens. Last session, what the fuck is our story?
Merchants.
The party basically threw together that based on the clothing they received for the time and the money enough to make a purchase for a travel of two or four up to the capital with merchant escort, that you guys are merchants traveling to the capital for business, and that was going to pretty much be your cover. As for any additional details, the party slowly seems to be working that out over this game session and the previous one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sam's been doing all the talking, all the actually handling of mercantile work, while
So
everybody
are we
else has been
going
standing around.
east from west or west to east?
Your the kingdoms are on the west side is the Elven, on the east
Be
side
right back.
is the human kingdom. You guys are heading from like down south to up north. So you're going
Okay.
south to north on the eastern side.
What Isella is planning on doing is that the moment that they arrive at the capital, she's going to be shifting into another young lady, which she's going to ask. It's like, all right, why don't we make a code to make sure it's Mimi, and it's damn it, Killian.
Appropriate.
So then at that point, DM, she's going to say that she hails from a small down, small town, very, very south from here, and that she's in a merchant's caravan going to the capital.
So we do have quite a bit in common. I also hail from the south, and I too am going to the capital.
Oh, god damn it, we have to put up with this asshole.
Oh? Ooh, what town do
Yes,
you hail from?
very interesting. I hail from a small little place, not too big. May even be from where you come from. It's called Glintenberg.
I don't think I ever heard of that. Oh, no! My great grandfather mentioned that place.
Mhm. Roll your bluff check.
All right, the
I'll
next.
roll his d20 for his sense motive.
Ooh.
And your bluff is definitely higher than his sense motive,
Oh, that's good.
Oh my god.
even though he's got a little bit of a bonus because he's trying to get you behind the 8 ball. Oh, really? So you are from around here. Did you travel much because of your accent, or maybe you were schooled by a foreign tutor?
Mm,
I mean, to be
well,
honest, there's
we've
not too many women like you out there.
we've not traveled much. I think my father might have pulled a couple strings and gotten me a tutor.
Mm. Was it one of those pricey elven tutors, or maybe one from Central Continent? I hear that they tend to study and speak rather different.
I'm not entirely too sure on that one. If they were from the Elven continent and an elf, they hid their ears very well.
Well, my dear, I mean, you could almost pass for elf or maybe even some kind of model. I'm sure you probably would have all kinds of suitors back where you are at home, probably a couple of lovely statues.
Mm, why do you think I begged my father to let me go on this trip?
Mm. Running away or running to something?
Running away.
Well, for shame. I'm sure all the men you left behind will be heartbroken.
I'm sure there are plenty more fish in the sea.
At the capital, yes, you'll be turning quite a few. I'll be jealous.
Oh, there's no reason to be jealous, my dear.
Oh, really? Hmm. That makes me feel quite at ease. Although I have to ask, I got your first name, and it's wonderful that I could do so quite so
We're
easily,
back.
but I am curious of your family name since you talk so much of your grandfather. I mean, maybe we have more in common. Maybe my father knows yours. Oh, what family
Figglesworth.
do you hail from? Mine, of course, I'm happy to give.
Oh, God.
I am.
And this is when
Yeah.
he realizes, oh shit, maybe we should have gone over there.
I
Maybe
am
we should have
Lawrence
looked.
Glinton the second.
Lawrence Clinton the second? Nice to know that you've taken your father's name.
Not by choice. After all, I was born when it was chosen for me, but definitely living up to the expectations of my father's demand. Merchant family, much trade, seas, overseas, so I'm well versed in
Suggestion:
several different tongues.
go with Madam of Mystery or some bullshit like that.
Sam did tell you what some common names were at the beginning.
I, I
Problem
think
is if he's not bullshitting also, he's familiar with several languages. He's used to trade overseas, so he's familiar with other countries and such. And two, he lives down south, so he'll know the other lord in the area. So
You kind of
Good
dug
luck!
yourself a hole.
he is too interested in you, and thus it's trapping you in a corner.
yes, yes it is.
Just go say you have to powder your nose and run like I used to do.
We can't do that because we're stuck here for 2 days.
And then you have to take a ride with him on the wagon train
It's
for a few
okay.
more
We
months.
have multiple changelings. All we have to do is have Daddy come back.
At which
Merchant
point, of
friends
course, the
back
main
got it.
meal gets delivered, which is lamb. As leg of lamb is served,
A leg of
and
lamb,
soup.
like an
Leg
entire
lamb.
leg.
Well, shall we hold off on conversation while we go ahead and enjoy our meals? I'm sure we can pick up where we left off. Not that I would be forgetting such a wonderful conversation, my dear. At which point the guy comes around and the waiter will pour a glass of wine for each of you.
Seven's
Jamie,
going to take a small sip of the wine and just sit there looking at the leg of lamb.
The guy will go ahead and get his silverware out and start cutting into the meat and taking a sip of wine,
oh,
looking you in
I
the
know a way
eyes,
around this.
and enjoying himself.
Sort of.
Set the
You were.
set the building on fire.
Sorry, drill everybody out.
Well, yes, there was that option. And I would have gladly taken it. But I don't want to get in trouble or arrested.
Well, don't worry, things will escalate real quickly very soon.
Uh oh.
As
Oh
you
no.
guys are sitting out there and enjoying yourself, Sam's in the room. Meal proceeds on. He wipes his face with his napkin, a little dab there, takes another sip. Lovely meal. Did you enjoy yourself? You seem to have been staring at it for a while before you finally started to dig in with your utensils.
Yes, I've just never had lamb before.
Then I chose wisely. It's always good to impress a lady with something new.
Thank you.
Speaking of new, let's go back to old matter. Uh, your family, I think it was. I never did catch the name, or and I don't see any crest or proper symbols on you to represent your family. So I'm intrigued by the mystery. Do
I need to get
enlighten
a
me.
generator. Hold on.
You're a ward!
Well, here's the
No,
thing.
that would.
Remember, you're running away.
Mm hmm.
By
You're
yielding your
right.
name, you're attracting attention. You're trying to get away from your family.
There you go. Yeah, just.
You're trying to
This is
make a
my
name for
name.
yourself and get out
You're
from
right.
under the shadow of others. By yielding your name, he may judge you based
Judge
on
you.
what the family is. Gives it a little bit more
Copy and
mystery.
paste what he says.
I'm ad libbing this.
No, no, no. It makes logical sense. If he's a romantic, that's perfect.
If he's a merchant, he understands it as well.
Exactly.
So, then back on track. Ixia is just going to simply shake her head and say, I can't give you my family's name because I no longer want that name, and it's no longer a part of me, therefore it is not me.
Oh, so you're not from the Birchenverds or the Velzers.
I
Hmm.
simply want to make a name for myself with my bodyguards and my secretary.
Oh, so private matter, those loyal to you that went with you. Very impressive you could pull them away from your father, get them to betray you. Good thing you didn't go with Veltenberg, seeing as they only have sons and no daughters. And also, the other one does have a daughter or two, but I
Oh
think both are
shit!
betrothed. So I guess you're running away from your fiance. Don't quite agree with the family. Although that
You
does
could say
raise
that.
matters since I haven't seen the daughters. I can't remember what they look like. But there is a bigger concern that my bodyguard brought to my attention. As the
Oh
guy
no.
holds up a copper coin marked from the center continent and puts on the table and slides it over in your direction. Seems my bodyguard happened to get paid in this kind of currency from your handmaiden.
Oh no.
And this
He was
is
pretending to be
why.
the street urchin delivering the letter, half disguised as a child.
And this.
He's a changeling.
No, he said halfling disguised as a child.
Oh.
Inxie was just going to take the copper coin and she's just going to put it back in between her boobs. Well,
He just sort of looked
I
shocked a little bit. So you're obviously lying about being from here, but you must be running from something from the center continent, whatever happened there. And with some very loyal people, I can respect that. Although mystery does concern me, and I do very much want some answers.
Still hasn't figured out who the actual
See,
distraction
it's like,
is.
oh, you're lying, but you're lying well, and obviously you're trying to cover up with another lie. So you're actually from the inner continent based on the coin currency. So you are running from a family, and you pretend to be from the southern part, thinking that I didn't know that. When in truth, you arrived in the southern part by ship. So
In the circle he is going. In
pretty
the circle
much,
he's going.
He's
he's
on
spinning.
he's on the right target, but he's going the wrong way.
Going
He's
the
on the
wrong
right.
way.
He's on the right
Exactly.
target, but also he's thinking even further out based on the
Wait a second.
information
They
he's
had
getting.
made it. Sam, you doomed us all.
No, no, no,
What?
no, 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 no. This is
No, I
perfect.
accidentally set it up to make it perfect.
Sam
Although
is the one that we were actually serving, and she's the distraction.
Yes, you haven't he hasn't figured that one out either.
Mm-hmm.
oh my dear. I won't pry too far. After all, I will get my answers as I'm one who loves extracting them. Shall we move on to the second course? While my men resolve matters for us.
resolve what matters.
Oh, don't worry about it. I wouldn't want to ruin the meal with some unsightly actions brought to
Oh
light.
no.
At which point, there's knocking at the door for Samantha.
Does it sound like the same knocking as the party members?
It's just two little light knocks.
All right.
I just standing. Ash like doing.
Yeah,
Should I
you two
open
are
the
back
door?
over there, don't know shit. However, knocking it late at night while everyone's away. Honestly, Michael?
Wait, I thought I was at with. I thought I was with you, Sam.
You
No.
both escorted
We both went
the
with her.
pretty distraction. And you're both staying outside the meal place with Sam alone in the room.
See, I thought we. See, I thought I was with Sam. So my bad.
No.
You're staying out there at the half lane.
Mhm.
Okay.
You're
See-
waiting for your lady to finish up her meal with him, while the other bodyguard's waiting for his master to finish up his meal with the lady.
Yeah. Okay. I'm dumb. I didn't pay it. I must have missed something because I thought I was gonna be.
Yeah,
helping
you
Sam
missed it
out.
because it was stated at the very beginning.
No, you both served as bodyguards per Sam's request, while Sam stayed behind to just do a little work.
Okay.
And honestly, it was part of it was prep work because Michael, I expected this.
Oh, because
Well,
then
do you expect if the lock is turning and unlocking?
Well, I will state this for the DM. At the knock, she is casting a spell upon herself. And that spell is True Strike.
Okie dokie. You have both locks, so the bottom lock unlocks. They try to turn the handle, and the door is still locked due to the top bolt. At which point, they will let go of the handle, and you'll hear two knocks again, and a voice saying, "Open up, we know you're alone in there. Don't make this difficult."
Sam's just gonna smile and just DM. I'm gonna draw the katana and just have it ready. So if they kick in the door, I regret to inform them that, well, no, I regret to state out of character, I'm probably going to one shot somebody.
Oh,
Because,
If it works,
DM, if they kick in the door and come in with force, I'm arcane striking with shocking grasp.
oh,
True strike's already cast, that's going to be a hit, probably.
nasty, nasty boy.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You break into my room, come at me with weapons ready, I'm taking you out.
yeah.
So, yeah, Michael, I'm waiting for them to try to kick in the door. And I've stated what my ready action is. If they break in and they come in with weapons ready to come after me, I will defend myself with lethal force.
They will attempt to jiggle the handle over the next 12 seconds or so. Come on, there's nowhere to hide in there. Open the door. We got a few questions for you.
And who, pray tell, are you?
Open up.
You have yet to reveal your identity, although you claim to know mine. Who are you?
I will kill you.
And why should I open?
I have a special set of skills.
I don't.
You
not
find
wrong.
me, I will kill you.
You're not wrong, Shig.
Which point you hear conversation outside. Yeah, let's just do it. Okay. Hey, you. Here's the key back. Here's a little coin. You saw nothing. This will cover the damages.
Oh God, this is how they're
Uh,
gonna die.
He says
At
that.
which point, guy will hit the door hard and with a bull rush, snap the top lock. Since they unlock the bottom, no alarm will sound. And he will come into the room. Since it's been about 3 rounds, True Strike only lasts for 1 round, so that will fail.
True.
Oh no.
But you will swing with the katana as you see a medium sized human individual come in with weapon drawn.
Oh no,
uh,
this is how you die.
Meanwhile, Ash and the Changeling, and the Halfling, and his brother are probably playing some weird dice games. Like,
Halfling will just look at you guys, just be like, "So, how you think the meal's going? You think he's getting far with her?"
uh,
If he is, he's going to
I,
die.
knowing her, probably not.
And not just killed by me.
That's a hit at him, and decent point of damage to him. He takes a
uh,
nice cut to the shoulder.
that's -3 off that damage because I forgot the D6 for anti-undead is still on there. But 22 electric. So it's going to be a
Ooh.
total of 27 damage.
That will
Now-
basically bring him to his knees as he tries to stumble back up to stand. And 3 other people will enter the room and basically surround you and tell you to drop your weapon, or else they will help you drop it.
Uh,
And they do seem to be armored and armed.
what kind of markings are there at a glance? Like markings of the
None.
town or of hired help markings?
This looks kind of like hired help. You're like thieves or mercs.
Okay. That's not, that's,
No.
this is, they're
Not
all right in
guards.
front of me, arrayed together, correct?
One's at your left, one's at your right, one's stumbling back to his feet right in front of you, and the other one's diagonal. So you basically have you, and then above you, below you, right in front of you, and diagonal to you.
All right, let me zoom out on the map. All right. So,
One guy to your left, above you, basically looks and goes, "Hey, don't make this hard, please. Don't want to spill a girl's blood."
so Michael, they're kind of surrounding me at this point, correct?
The 4 of them, yep. Probably given the opportunity, they probably will completely surround you.
But for the question, they're all in the room, correct?
They are in the room.
Okay.
So is that phrase? They're not. We don't have her trapped. She has us trapped.
You're not wrong. Because Sam has all her stuff on her, she has all of Seven's, and y'all never said you left any of your stuff behind.
Mm-hmm. I have actually most of it covered.
So,
Still in my purpose.
Well, your bodyguards,
Michael,
you should be armed.
I'm casting a spell and I'm doing with concentration. Combat casting.
Good luck.
Oh yeah, I make it.
Most
I'm
likely
no
so.
longer standing in the middle of the room surrounded by them. I'm now standing on the other side of the doorway, blocking the doorway with them inside. Yay, dimensional hop allows me to move 15 feet.
Oh yeah, that was the thing you did with to help Ash out of that one spot.
I also use as not only a movement but a combat spell also.
You get to cast another spell again, don't you?
No, I use it as a counter to people. Think about it.
Which
You're
point
in a
they
big room. I hit you. You're not 15 feet straight up and you fall down.
You're gonna set
Ooh.
fire. Oh,
they look at you, and the one guy trying to stumble back up, the other guy above you who talked earlier, just sort of steps up to the doorway, looks at you in the eyes. It's like, come back in the room, please.
You want to tell me what this is about first? After
You're
all,
going
you
to
seem
answer
to
some
decide to use
questions.
force, and I respond with, now you make demands and say not why. Why should I even listen?
Put down the weapon, and let's talk about your lady friend.
I'm willing to talk, but I'm not putting the sword away. After all,
Suit
you haven't
yourself.
decided whether you want to put away your weapons or not either.
Please come in the room before this gets messy.
Are you
Lydia
willing
looked
to
at
put
chat.
your weapons away if I put mine?
which one?
Roll 20 chat.
At which point the other two just sort of look and they'll shoot their weapon. The one guy who's Angel Stamp goes, "Oh, I'm not putting nothing away." At which point the other guy will just swing his sword and take the guy's head off. I think that's unanimous vote of 3 to dead.
I
At
don't
which
think
point he'll
he
clean off his
can
weapon
really
and sheath it.
voice his opinion anymore. Very well. I will sheath my sword.
He'll step back. Would you
Step.
please, as he motions, enter the room?
I'll step in and shut what's left of the door behind.
He'll motion to one of the guys to stand at the door.
Oh, she hasn't
He'll,
left the door. She's still standing at the door. She just shut it.
he motions one of the guys who just sort of like puts a hand on your shoulder and asks you to move. The guy will go and take a seat at the table who's been doing the talking there. A guy will stand next to him. He'll motion at the other chair. Please.
Moves the chair so that she has clear view of all three of them. Then we'll sit down.
One guy will stand at the door blocking the exit. The other guy will stand next to the more important guy. The other guy will lay on the floor bleeding out.
I
And the
can't
other
fix
guy's in the
that, so.
chair looking at you.
Michael, how close is it to the window?
About 10 feet.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So, we need you to tell us everything about your boss. Where she comes from, what she does, because we're getting paid for this. And we are permitted to use torture by any means. I personally don't like to hurt women or children, but the pay is quite good. So, out with it. Who is she? Where does she come from? We have a good idea that she's not from around here. And considering the coins that were used to pay, we assume from the center continent.
Oh, you mean the coins I paid? You see, there's one catch with your suspicions. I'm the one from the central continent.
And you serve, so either you're hired help from there or you're both from there. Which is it?
But I do not serve.
Just
What better a distraction than a beautiful woman?
Yeah, I just start rolling sides. So, are we going to get to the matter, or are you just going to string me along, and are we going to have to make things a little bit more difficult for you?
Tell me, what is the easiest way to get stuff done? If you have a beautiful woman that everybody looks to and ignores you, or if you are the center of attention.
So you're the boss and the important merchant traveling with two bodyguards and a handmaiden which you've dressed up all fancy to draw attention.
Bingo. And now we've gotten closer to the root of the matter.
Still doesn't completely answer the question. Where are you from and where is she? You said center continent. Wonderful. You're the one leading the caravan. You're traveling to the capital. I assume business.
Yes,
What about her?
they are with me in order to make sure I get there. I have business, and they help make sure I can get there and get things done that I need. What I
Looks up at the
require
guy.
requires a lot, and I have a lot to do. Easier to do with multiple hands.
Interesting. Well, this does make the job a little bit easier then. Looks at the guy above him. So we won't need to go with that problem. Guy just sort of takes his hand off his web, just stands at attention. So, let's say our lord to be, Glitterman, is quite taken with your compatriot, since it's not your boss, and plans to make her his betrothed.
No.
Since it's not a lady, obviously this would be highly questionable, but since she's not from around here, things could be manipulated. Maybe she can become a mistress. Since she's not
Oh.
nobility, I guess the question then drops down to how much you're willing to part with her or even sell her for.
Michael, I'll state this. The further this conversation goes along, the darker the look on Sam's face gets.
Well, it's like, oh, he wants to propose to her, he wants to marry her, he needs to know everything to make this legit, make sure she's not a danger to the house. Oh, she's possibly just a commoner or a hired hand. So how much for her?
Like I said, the look on the face just gets darker and darker.
The answer is no.
Surely you could hire quite a few more for the money that may be thrown at your feet. If you find this slightly offensive, we do apologize, but as I said, our Lord is quite taken by her.
I understand being quite taken by her. I understand wanting to acquire her. However,
He wants to do it legally. He's not going to like steal her away in the night, throw her in a bag, and drag her off to someplace. He wants to court her. He wants to give her stuff. He wants to marry her.
And
If
that
she's of
is
nobility, but since she's not, he may just have to settle for mistress, which she will still be very well taken care of. After all, his family is one of the richest in the southern.
that is quite impressive, and I understand what he wants. I do not think he understands what he's getting himself into. She is not just a pretty face. She's actually one of the most dangerous among us. I don't know how many men have laid dead at her feet.
And pausing that conversation to jump over to the lot outside, Halfling will basically turn to the other two and go, so, your compatriot is probably been apprehended by now in your room and being interrogated as to the validity of your lady, your mistress, as our Lord has plans for.
a pardon.
Wait, what? What did
Oh
you?
my god!
What's going
Halfling.
on?
You have
Allow me to
5 seconds.
explain. We are interrogating, well, they are interrogating your friend in the room, and our Lord here wants to make your lady his betrothed.
That's
No.
not gonna happen.
We don't have a say in this. Look, money is being
Damn it.
exchanged, things came up, got very curious, and it's out of my hands, it's out of your hands. It is what it is. He's going to make it happen because he's head over heels with some woman he saw at afar.
Oh, this is good. This is hilarious. Honey child.
So I
Bless
recommend
your heart.
they're going to be in there for a while. I recommend we go to a tavern, have a few drinks, and get to know each other because we're
That's-
probably going to be traveling the rest of the way to the capital
As
together.
look. I don't know what is whatever your boss has planned is not going to work.
I have no clue. He found the coin ground from this continent, so it made her more exotic and more alluring. The secrets behind her is driving him wild. He it because he's bored to death. So yeah. So let's go get a drink. They're gonna be in there for a while.
Estella is laughing her head off this entire time he's going on about this.
So there's a nice little pub right across the street. We can still keep an eye on them and get a drink. What do you say?
Oh, Estella's gonna take him up on
Sure.
that.
Sure, we'll go get a drink, buddy.
What about Sam?
Go rescue Sam if you're concerned.
All right, Ash just goes up and just
I he the halfling just sort of steps from him and goes, I wouldn't recommend that. There's some skilled people there, and they're not gonna hurt her as long as she cooperates.
See, I'm gonna take booze. Uh, he's a worrywart, and
out of character, does Estella actually know that Seven? Out of character, to be sure, Estella. I mean, Lydia.
No, y'all do not know who or where Seven is currently.
Okay.
Seven's back
Because the
like
way Lydia-
150 years in the future,
Yeah,
left
because the
with
way-
Alum. This is some druid that you brought back here who could turn into a bird and apparently die bombed and helped you guys out one time, and now it's about to get married off to some guy in the past.
And apparently is a good friend of Sam's. That's all you know.
Okay.
And Sam's
that's-
just been ambushed by a bunch of people who apparently may use lethal means. And
Yeah,
you know how
because the-
Sam's gonna respond.
because
Yeah,
the-
you've seen Sam fight. You know what she'll do.
Yeah, it's like I'm not worried about my friend. I'm worried about what she's gonna do to the hired help.
Oh, don't
You're
worry.
hired.
These guys are very well trained. If anything, if she gives a little trouble, they may have to torture her for information.
Trust me, I don't. If anyone's gonna get tortured, it's gonna be your friends.
Then we didn't hire good enough people. That'll be on me and not my master. Well, you want to go get the drink or not? At which point the halfling just starts leading Damien over to the pub. So I was thinking something more celebratory, maybe starting off with a strong dwarven stout, and from there
So-
going to something slightly more
Ash-
hammering.
Ash just
Okay.
follows and sits down and just like it's going to end badly. It's always gonna end badly somehow.
so I have to point this out. I'm pretty sure Estelle has caught on that Sam is I mean, not Sam, but Seven is a changeling.
You
I-
know that for a fact because you've seen. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it changed to drow form.
Drow for
I was gonna
yep.
say the only ones who know what Seven is Sam and Estella. Estella
Yeah,
does
you
know.
You know that
Right.
that's Seven over there. You
Yeah,
he or
Estella.
she can change form. You know that it's a druid. As for if it's actually Seven's male or not, I'm not sure if you know that much.
No,
She's
she
only seen
doesn't-
Seven in I think female forms.
She's seen Seven in
Seven and-
female human.
Mhm.
But,
She-
And then there was the one time that Drow Seven went right by her, not knowing who the fuck, or not having her know who he was, to look at a board.
But there was that time that she did notice the change of fur. She has a hunch that she's a changeling. I mean, he is a changeling. Doesn't know the gender yet.
Mhm.
Ash
So
only-
that
yeah, and Ash only knows that that Seven is a dog, and this druid helped us out.
and this is why Estella is
You
walking
good-hearted
along.
boy.
He's
Some stranger that's helped you versus your friend in a room being interrogated.
This
Well,
is
He's
why
probably more afraid of what Sam's doing to the guys.
Exactly.
The
this
poor
on-
girl in the room.
honestly Estella is the main reason why Estella is cackling is because the fact that it's a changeling. It's just like, all right, yeah, sure.
Damien, your lack of concerns concerns me.
Your lack of
Maybe
concern
he's
is
okay
concerning.
with it. If your master's running away, what better protection than a
Brother,
powerful rich lord?
brother, my dear, dear, and one and only brother.
Rub it in more, don't you?
Do not understand what has occurred, and I enjoy this. How about we go and get drinks and solve this matter later?
See, this one's totally got it figured out. This is outside our hands. It's between the lords. All you do is sit back and enjoy it. And if things go well, you're gonna be part of the family and well taken care of instead of on the run.
I
Live
have
it up.
work in the capital anyway, so I'm.
So does my lord, so it works out
We all have
fine.
work in the capital, so Ash just sighs and just feels defeated. Like, fine, whatever.
Meanwhile, back at the dinner table now,
Yeah.
it's going to be taken. So, You're from overseas. You're drop dead beautiful, well mannered, mysterious, well traveled, on the run. Here I am, rich, gonna inherit a family fortune. I can take well care of you, and I'm head over heels in love with you, my dear.
Oh my god.
We're both
Th-
headed to capital. This must be fate. The gods truly do shine on me.
Kill him. Kill him.
I care more about what you're having your people do to my companion.
They're just asking a few questions because my bodyguard is a pain in the butt, and he has to make sure that you don't have some loose knots somewhere that may impact my family name, yada yada. So he got some people to go interrogate your friend, ask a few questions. I asked him not to go too far with her. Any injuries, you may feel free to inflict them upon my own body.
Can I inflict them upon their bodies too?
I don't really have a say over that, but violent to depth. Oh, I love you so much. I will arrange for my friend, if any harm comes to yours, to be taken care of in the morning by local cleric, and then I will arrange for the mercenaries to be brought into a room to where equal pain may be distributed upon them. If I may ask that I may be present to watch.
You will be allowed to be present to watch, but since we're talking about mercantile type things, there was something that my secretary wanted me to talk to you about.
Oh my goodness. Completely focused on business and everything you want. You're the kind of woman my mom would have wanted.
Well, I am quite glad. You see, there's
Give me
some
a moment.
things that we have that need to be sold. But as you've already figured out, we don't have a mercantile license yet.
And I happen to have the backing of one of the biggest merchant houses in the South, handling sailing rights and all kinds of stuff. Hmm, why not? I could help you sell this, and at the same time, we could look at a jewelry shop, maybe see if there's a ring appropriate for your hand. Oh, I apologize. That's a little forthcoming. I need to spend more time to get to know you.
I'm sure we'll have all the time in the world when we're going through the arrangements to sell my jewelry. That way I have nothing left of my family.
Well, if you're headed to the capital like you say you are, I also have business there at my father's request, so we will have a lot of time together.
Good.
I hope you all are enjoying this. This was not intended, but considering how you guys did things, instead of this just being a run in with a snobby merchant, things have taken a sideways twist thanks to your actions and dress
I'm
code.
dying over here.
Oh my god!
Oh, who wants to place bets if this guy survives the trip?
I bet 5 gold.
If he was just a snobby merchant, I'm sure you guys would have probably killed him, robbed him, or left him naked in the woods. But now with this, who knows what you guys are going to do
See,
to this poor guy.
Michael, you forget something. Changelings. He's giving us all this info. All the info. Oh god.
And we could probably stop here for the night
Oh,
as
God.
the
I
players
don't,
are losing their minds.
I don't know. I don't think we should stop.
And we'll be able to pick up with the interrogation, dessert menu, and then actions of selling in the
Oh
morning.
god. Makes me
Wanna
wonder what would
pause
have
the
happened if I
stream?
had killed them all.
Oh
Oh
Yeah.
god.
Freaking lunatics.
Ash isn't,
Oh.
yeah, Ash isn't worried about his party. He's more worried about, oh god, it's Sam killed those people. Is that Drew gonna kill that guy? What's gonna happen?
honestly, I think Estelle Bella is going to have to talk to the lady, and it's just like, do you want to trade places?